Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. I am here after a long week in sports and culture, and we here to chop it up and talk about it. Of course, you know I can't do this alone. We are here at season three, off and running. I can't do this alone. You know I've got my man, the Mad Producer Podcast Poppy, Morning in the building.
Morning isn't even the correct word.
I also have it's a celebration for us on the pod, but it's not a celebration for him. It's, the Roz counter goes back to zero for season three, but he also is in mourning. Roz is back and in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, gotta be great for eight, man. Hopefully.
And of course, you know I have to bring him in last because once again, he's here. He has ruined Dylan's dreams once again with another unbelievable prediction. He doesn't speak football, but he never misses. Breezy, the prophet, is here.
Hey man, hey Dylan, hey, all love, brother. It's all love. I'm rocking the green and white for the Jets.
The most
Fuck you,
ridiculous
James.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Fuck you, James.
Let's just not even play. We're gonna get the first on-screen picture up. We all know what this picture is gonna be. James, you know what this picture is gonna be.
Yeah.
Let's just put him up there. It's there for James, for Dylan.
Put the other one up too.
Right. Well, 75 seconds into the season premiere, and
But yeah, that's what your feelings are. Like, please, just let it be anything but that.
The hardest part about it is Janice was watching the game with me, and when he goes down, she looks over to me, and she was just like, "Oh," and then she got up and left. She got up and left. When I tell you, I was just like, I had every bit of joy that I've ever had just removed from my body.
Yeah.
My mom called me the next day. She was like, "Oh, how you feeling?" And she just like, "I had to leave. He looked like he was about to just break down." Like I had to leave. It happened after a great first defensive possession. And it's like, okay, cool. Like Rodgers is here. Like I finally like brought myself up to like, okay, I'm ready to enjoy this season after months of being a negative Nancy about Rodgers being here, all for me to kind of be right.
Yeah. I had people calling and checking on me. Though
I was unwell.
All the sorries. I mean, they just started flooding and coming in, and I just had to not answer certain calls, and not because I wasn't sure if they were troll calls or real calls. But yeah, I had to. I mean, I saw it, and I felt like, I don't know. It just felt like it just was. It's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
It's the most Jet thing of all time.
Sports. I mean, I literally saw it, and then I just kept watching the game, and I like my brain pretended that it didn't see it, and then I was just like, every time they talked about it, ever so often, I was like, yeah, I think that happened. I'm like, yeah, no way.
It just wasn't computing.
Yeah, no way.
I mean, you handled it a lot differently than Dylan because
I was vehemently opposed to it being anything. But to be fair here, I watched the same video over and over again, and I just didn't see what everybody was talking about because it didn't show it well. I didn't see it like finally like come to terms with it until I saw it on the post game where they had the video where it like zoomed in and I saw his heel hyperextend. I'm like, oh no. And then the reverberation to the calf. I was like, yep, that's it. That's it.
Dylan's grieving period went straight for denial. He was just
straight to denial.
No, it's his ankle. No.
Yeah. I
Fields.
had acceptance real quick. And then it was just like nihilism.
You know who didn't tear his
And
Achilles?
It's
Derek
nihilism. I
Carr.
was just like, It's like, you know what?
and
Cool.
I didn't even know what
Fuck
was
you,
going on
James.
because guys, I don't watch football, but I just happened to something said go into the chat, and I went into the chat, and I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And I just read like Rodgers is out, and I was like, is Rodgers hurt? And Rodgers was like, James, did you see it? And I was like, see what? He's like, did you hear about Roger being hurt? I was like, yeah, in here just now. And I was like, let me scroll up. I just scroll up. Rogers Achilles. I was like, oh no.
It was unbelievable to say the least. I was sitting here stunned. I mean, I put it in the chat. Oh my god, what did I just see?
One of the most unbelievable things I've seen outside of Benny getting injured. It's just like, I think for me, it was like the odds was just like, it's just crazy. And
The
Vinny
first
being
thing I said
Andre
was
Captain-
it's 1999 all over again.
Yep, you did say
That's
that.
the first thing I said. Like before I did my grieving, I did all that stuff. I was out of my mind. Janice leaves, and I just
Is
yell,
that
"It's
the Vinny that tested
1999
ready?
all over again."
Yeah.
Same thing.
Vinny's honorary captain. That was the part that I thought was
did
weird.
the coin toss. He did.
When I saw him come out,
When
there,
I saw
was
that, I saw that
mm.
on Monday. The next day or on Tuesday morning. I saw that. I was like, there were so many signs. There were so many signs that this was just a terrible thing.
Cursed franchise.
But let's not forget the
shit.
biggest curse of them all that no one has spoken about in our chat. This all went to shit the moment Aaron Rodgers dapped up Jake Paul. That's when it all went down. It all blew up. That moment.
I mean, you could say the same thing as, it went to shit when he went and dapped up homeboy from The Office. Like,
I mean, that didn't help. It didn't help.
Like, I have never in my life seen the stadium like it was.
Yes, never.
They treated the Jets with so much like fanfare, and Rodgers getting the welcoming that he did
coming out was crazy.
Was unbelievable. Like that run out with the American flag is like goosebumps.
You'll
just for him to just explode on the field.
You'll never see a better entrance to a football game. Might as well let you know that was the most watched Monday Night Football game of all time.
Ever.
The
only other walkout that gives me as much goosebumps is Brian Robinson last year. Brian Robinson coming out to Many Men after coming back from getting shot to play was awesome. But the fanfare that MetLife had for 9/11 and everything going on was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would also argue DeMar Hamlin running out was something different that I will never forget.
That was crazy. I've never heard the stadium like that, and I've been to some
many a Jet games. Many a Jet
I'm like, this is the loudest I've ever seen it. I was at the Victor Cruz game when he scored the 9. I was there, and I thought to this day I never thought I heard the stadium in general be louder than that when he ran and scored that. I mean, granted, it was against my team, but I never heard the stadium that loud since then. So,
here it is for our viewers on YouTube. We're showing the play. It looks like a normal sack. Just looks like a normal sack.
And Janice goes, Rodgers must have been mad at that guy. He threw the ball. I was like, he always does that. He gets sacked. He throws the ball. They laugh. They move on. And then I'm watching. I'm like, all right, what's going on? And then
he says no. He also shook his head to the sideline, like no. And then he sits down. And I think that rock was actually frustration.
Yeah.
When he sat down is when I was like, yeah, this is really bad. Really bad.
As somebody who literally just suffered this injury, hold on. I want you guys to take a look at his left leg. Look at the twitching and the moving. The twitching right there.
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
You can also see the all the mannerisms, the fidgeting of the fingers, like trying to deal with the pain, all that stuff.
That when I tore mine, there was just a shock of electricity that shot up my leg where it just was just going. Every muscle in my leg was just spasming. And obviously in that moment, I'm not looking for that on TV because I'm not sure what the fuck happened. I'm looking for it. Now that I rewatch it here, it's like, oh, everything was just there. All the signs were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
75 seconds into the game.
4 plays.
It's just unfortunate, man. You know, but again, right? So it's like I go back to it, you know, fundamentally, you know, not any team not having their starting quarterback is a devastating blow. But specifically for the Jets, because they have inept quarterback play for so long, it's what is the depth behind him now, right? We need a competent person to come in. Do we have a Cooper Rush type person? Do we have, you know what I'm saying, like that kind of person to come and do it? We'll see. We'll see.
You ask Robert Saleh, you do.
We'll see.
Well, right now it's Zach. Like, that's it. You can't play Boyle.
I mean, I have no problem with Zach Wilson right now because it's either, I feel like there's 2 out of 3 scenarios. If you give me those odds that are fine, I like that. Is either he's back where he was, and then we're literally going to be a bad team, or he's better and we're a playoff team. The worst scenario is he's bad, but the defense is so good that they steal wins and he loses all the games in which he has to be remotely competitive as a quarterback. Like any game that he has to be an actual average starting quarterback, we lose that game. The defense is good enough to win at least 5 by themselves.
The defense is good enough to win the last 7. The last 7 of our schedule is just ridiculously easy.
Yeah, so things, things change. You know, towards the back end, it gets kind of wacky with the strength of schedule. People emerge, rookies show up. I would say I expected coming into the defense to be able to win at least 5 games, and Aaron Rodgers comes in because of who he is to complement that with the whole 21-point and lead or 21 points scored in his record to give us at least another 6 or 7. Now, I don't think Zach can give you any. And so what scares me is
he just gave you 1.
I mean, he gave me 1, but I think that was the one that the defense. I chalked that up to the 5 that I was going to give to the defense. So
you still have to put points on the board, and if Zach doesn't throw that touchdown, there is nothing. And I give Garrett more credit than anybody on that play because Garrett fought for that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if Zach doesn't change that from a run to a pass, we don't have a touchdown.
So again, right? It's game 1. It's a lot of great talk for me. I literally have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm prepared for anything. And it's either it confirms Zach Wilson's gone and you shoot him out the cannon officially, or, he's good. And then, you talk about possibly, him being where he needs to be. And
who would you like the Jets to go after as far as getting depth? Because I have a few names.
Twitter is giving me a whole bunch of names.
Twitter is ridiculous. I want Twitter to stop.
I mean, free agents or just in general?
Anybody. Whatever. Who do you think they can get?
Think if Carr's good, you could probably pry Jameis. I think
Jameis is somebody I want nobody near us.
Yeah, I think
because Jameis would be the perfect mix of chaos that would have all of the world watching us for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they're the guys where I kind of lump Jameis in talent-wise. He's not probably the best, but he's still in that tier for me. That's like Jameis,
playable
Teddy.
Backup.
Yeah, Jameis, Teddy, Jacoby, Cooper. Cooper is probably on the higher end of that so far. I wouldn't go back to Mike White. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't go for any of these free agent quarterbacks.
The second coming last year. He was the second coming until he played, and then you realize he wasn't that good.
I just feel like
no, that's not what happened, Mike. Because Mike White was solid.
Happened?
Mike White died. Mike White got killed and then wasn't able to make plays anymore.
Because he stinks, Dylan. That's why he stinks.
Mike White played like this may seem completely different than the argument that Roz and I had the other day. Mike White
He's
just
an
didn't win
egg.
football games,
He's
right?
an egg back then. He's an egg back there.
He
He's an
got
egg.
sawed in half twice in Buffalo. Got no calls because he played great in Chicago. He played really good in Minnesota. Braxton Berrios is the reason we lost that game, right? Because he dropped the ball, literally laying on his back for a touchdown and let it fly out. Even though we did everything we can to get there, defense played awesome that game against one of the top offenses in football. You go to the next week, Mike White can't fucking play. He gets fucking just shredded out there. Detroit, he can't play. Zach has to go out there, and if CJ Mosley doesn't fuck up, we probably win that game. Zach was horrible that game, but
Terrible.
Zach threw 3 45-yard passes that game. That was just like, why can't you just do that for 4-yard passes? Why can't you do that? Then we go to Jacksonville. We all watch that game. Mike refuses to blame Zach Wilson for that game. Refuses to blame Zach Wilson for being horrible in that game. But hey, can't do it. And then when he finally,
there were drops, and you don't want to acknowledge the drops.
I'll acknowledge the drops, but you acknowledge everything else.
He didn't play well.
He was horrible.
He'll tell you that.
He was horrible. And then when we finally get to the point where we can get Mike White back to play, it's Seattle. He was so busted and broken, he couldn't do anything. So it's like, all right, you really can't play Mike White anymore.
Why was he on the field?
No, don't use that.
Because he was better than everybody else that we had.
Don't say that, because when I use that argument about if they're on the field, if they're on the
play.
court,
Dylan uses
they need to be able to play, and everyone wants to use, but he's injured. And I'm like, but if he's on the court, he needs to be able to play and not
he needs to be able to play. But that's why he wasn't good. It's because he was hurt. When he was healthy, he was solid. When he was hurt, he was god awful. So it's like, cool, you can't play him again. And they didn't. That's why they went to Flacco. And Flacco couldn't beat a third string offense of the defense of the Dolphins.
At that point, everybody
was just so bad. You couldn't do anything.
But they waited. If
it's not the same offensive system. The problem that we're running into is we going into week 2, no OTAs, not a lot of real practice in there. Any quarterback you get probably won't be able to play until like week 5. If something bad happens.
Unfortunately, your best bet is to look up and down that Broncos depth chart and find out who's left over from when they fired him.
They're all still on that team.
So
the problem is you can only get people who know Hackett's offense.
The Broncos trading y'all.
So the name that I heard that I actually like here, you're gonna hate me for this, is Bortles. And the only reason I like Blake Bortles is because Blake Bortles is the only other quarterback besides Aaron Rodgers who ran a successful Hackett offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
That's the only one, and that's just to make sure if Zach gets hurt, you have somebody who won't just throw a million picks. He's a free agent.
I think he's
been out of football for like how long?
2 years.
He's working at Whole Foods or maybe a Arby's.
My favorite option is Brissett. If we were to go get a quarterback, go get Brissett.
You're gonna pay for Jacoby.
You got to.
And if you're gonna pay for him, here's my thing. If you're gonna pay for him, then you pay for somebody with upside. You go and pay for Cooper Rush because they got Trey Lance. You go and say to them,
Dallas isn't ready to play Trey, so that's why.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I would say, listen. Seems like Trey is in your longer term plans than Cooper Rush is. Because the compensation for Jacoby and Cooper is not going to be that much different. The highest,
I think it'll be much more. Dallas would want more.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Dallas would want more.
Dallas would try to bargain more.
Dallas is going to tell you they want a 2 or a 3. It's exactly what they're going to tell you.
Well, my thought process was, at worst, you would have to pay a 3 for Jacoby Brissett too.
I would give a 3 for Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett and Minshew.
For Cooper Rush, because he's better than Jacoby. He has more upside.
Jerry's going to ask for He's going to ask for more than a 3.
I mean, that's why, like Joe Douglas.
Jerry thinks that Cooper's a starting quarterback. He's just behind.
If Cooper's a starting quarterback, he's not gonna be able to pay for him. He's gonna let him go for a comp pick.
He thought he was going this year. Jerry thought Cooper was coming back.
He wasn't
coming back.
He's gone next year. Now that they traded for Lance, he's gone.
He's gone. Trey Lance is long term.
Dangle them and say, listen, I'll give you this third. You have a better chance of getting this third that could be higher in case the Jets are bad, and I'll take Cooper Rush instead of you taking a comp pick, which we know
that's the
won't be
problem
there.
here is we're gonna lose out on Cooper Rush next year because he's gonna get starting quarterback money elsewhere.
Correct, and you only get a comp pick. You get the same third round pick.
And
I'd rather go for Jacoby.
And if I'm Dallas, I'm saying no. Give me a second.
Okay, but then you lose out on him and you just get a compensatory pick. Same third round pick. Which one would you take? The Jets third round pick or some random third round pick given to you within the middle rounds?
No, I'm so if I come back and tell you I want a second, you're gonna say no?
No, I'm gonna say no because I know he's leaving. I know he's leaving.
But you need a quarterback right now. And
okay,
I have.
Guess what?
That's the price you got to pay.
I have the leverage, right?
Okay,
Not you. I have the leverage.
No, you don't. I think the leverage is even. If I'm talking to the Cowboys, I'm telling them, listen, it's either you're going to take the chance on getting a higher third round pick, which could be basically almost a lower second if we do bad. And you can either take that or you can take Cooper Rush leaving and you getting a compensatory third round pick at best. Because it's not guaranteed it's a third round pick. It depends on how much they sign him for. He gets a third at best. And at best, it's going to be a mid-round or a late third, which is an early fourth, technically. And if Jerry Jones looks at the Jets roster and say, well, guess what? I'm losing Cooper Rush, and there's a chance that he may not be that much better on their team because he starts to learn the offense. He starts to learn the offense all over again.
If I'm if I'm Jerry, I'm looking at that. I'm like, no, because Dak has gotten hurt the last couple of years, and he's needed Cooper.
That too.
That's where
you also traded a fourth for Trey Lance too, right? What they trade?
They traded nothing for him. They traded a fourth. Yeah, a fourth round pick
for him. Now, I mean, you're also probably getting a better third as well too. So maybe I don't know. That's what I would.
If I'm Jerry, I'm not answering any phone calls on Cooper Rush.
The answer is no.
If I'm Washington, I'm more inclined to trade Jacoby because if worst case scenario, I need to go get a backup quarterback. I have a guy that was just on my roster last year, still in free agency.
But I don't know.
In Carson Wentz.
I still think the Cowboys are in a bad position with their quarterback depth chart because it doesn't even.
Cowboys are in the perfect position. I think they're in the perfect position.
They're in a great position.
They're not.
They got Cooper Rush this year. They're not going to pay.
Why do you need to pay a backup quarterback to be a backup quarterback?
They're going to start Dak enough games, unless he gets injured early like Aaron Rodgers. They're going to start Dak enough games to where the trade deadline is going to pass, and they won't even be able to capitalize on Cooper Rush being good in the second half of the season if Dak were to get injured.
I don't think they're worried about that right now.
Exactly. They're not worried about that.
I think they're worried about keeping him on the roster because if Dak gets hurt before the trade deadline or after, you still need to have somebody, and they're not ready to play Trey yet.
No, I mean, listen, they're
in the perfect
Super Bowl
spot.
Aspirations, so they're fine. I mean, they're completely comfortable with that.
They are in the perfect spot for their roster because they don't need to trade him. I think they were okay with letting him walk last year. They're going to be okay with letting him walk this year. Because Jerry has no problem not paying people and watching them leave. He's done it many a time. It's not gonna. It's no skin off his back. It's nothing there because he went and got Cooper Rush's replacement, and he's going to sign Cooper Rush's replacement to no money for 4 years.
Yeah, I think he has the biggest upside of all the backups. This is Cooper Rush.
Yes. The other name I want is a name that also Jet fans are probably going to laugh at me about is Darnold.
They're not trading. They're not trading him.
They're not going to trade him.
Oh, the karma that would be.
They could.
Listen, I never had a problem with Darnold. My problem with Darnold is Adam Gase broke him. That was my problem with Darnold.
They could trade Sam, but they wouldn't because they already thinned out their depth.
They already trimmed the fat in their quarterback room.
Yeah.
So it would be Brissett, it would be Bortles, it would be Darnold. Those would be my 3 names that I would want.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, keep him the fuck away from me. He's the perfect quarterback to bring my dreams up and tear them down in the same season with his play. Not because he got hurt, because he just decides, oh wait, that guy's covered. I'm throwing the ball.
Jameis would be very interesting to me.
He's chaos. He would be chaos for us.
I think he has the potential to be good or really bad.
He will get that ball to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
and then he will also give that ball to the defense.
Yeah,
but he's never played with a defense like yours.
Nope. Nope. That
don't think
Tampa Bay defense that he had the year before was the same defense that they brought over with Tom Brady. Who'd they add? They added Jamel Dean. Great.
That defense
I don't want to hear none of that.
That defense went up a notch.
And it was a younger version of that defense.
Yeah, it got better. Did it not get better the next year?
No, they added Antoine Winfield. I'm sorry. The next year they did. The year after Brady already won the Super Bowl that year.
Was the defense better?
No, from Winston to Brady immediately. No, it was the same defense. They had Vita Vea. They had Shaq Barrett. They had Devin White. They had Levante David. They had Carlton Davis. They had the depth.
They didn't have JPP because he didn't play that year.
He was on the roster. He was on the team,
but he didn't play.
He's played with him before. The only person they added to that defense was Ndamukong Suh, who was already too long in the tooth.
No, Dominican made some noise.
Thank you, Roz. He made noise.
Dominican
Vita Vea was
literally single-handedly almost killed the Chiefs too.
Well, that's because the Chiefs' whole offensive line died in the fire.
I mean, he was rolling. He was rolling in that playoffs, though. I'm not going to take that.
Regardless,
he's played with a good defense. I don't think it's as good as our defense.
That's my point.
He's played with good defenses. The problem is they have lost games because of him.
Yes.
That last year they played, he 30-30. Yes. They lost games because of him. Single-handedly because of him.
That's
and
true.
I know Bucs fans, I know a very good friend of mine is a Bucs fan. He hates Jameis because they were supposed to make the playoffs that year. They were supposed to win the division.
I remember that year.
And he threw it away. And then he went and made a compilation of how Jameis Winston should have thrown 60 interceptions. I'd watched it and made a clip of every game and every dropped interception that he threw. So that's tough. That's why it's like Jameis would be good enough on his best day to make us a playoff team. Yeah, but his lows that's
out there that's going to win y'all the Super Bowl.
His lows are so low that it would be me like being upset about Aaron Rodgers' Achilles all over again, but every week. That's why I can't do that. I can't deal with it. That's why it's like keep Jameis away from me. The highs are high, but the lows are too low for me to want to engage in that.
Yeah, I think again, right? Like honestly, like I know people want to say it's like, and I know it's not going to happen. I really don't care who the Jets backup is going to be. I think the Jets
can't be Boyle.
I think the Jets. I think if you're worried about the Jets' third string QB playing, technically the third string QB, something has horribly gone wrong. And then at that point, like
something has horribly gone wrong, right?
I'm saying like that has horribly gone wrong, but there's been times where starters have gone out and you've had to run out with the backup. It's not foreign at all for the NFL. But I think if you get to the third string QB, you would be remiss to find many teams in the NFL who have adequate to good third string QB.
None. They're all terrible.
That's why y'all have to go get somebody.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
I just remembered a name. Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
They won't
Cleveland.
trade him.
They're not going to trade him. I saw Cleveland fans immediately when it was brought up on Twitter. They're like, "We want everybody you have for him."
Right.
Everybody.
Now, you could go after the guy who lost that against him, though. Right? You could try that. I mean, that could be intriguing too. But again, right? For me, it's like if Aaron gets hurt and Zach gets hurt. At that point, I understand the defense feels a certain way they feel, but you can't expect any team to just be playoff or Super Bowl like worthy, which the defense is, and with the third string QB. You'd have to be ungodly fortunate. So the defense.
No, but you want to put yourself in a situation to the best situation you can at that point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. You want to put yourself in a good situation.
Like, I don't think the Jets need to just go crazy to try to find like a person who is better than Zach Wilson. Because
no, they just need to find somebody who can help him, like keep his head up. I think.
like I said,
That's the position we're in. We need to make sure he's as confident as possible.
It's just
what I love to see was everybody. I've never seen this with Zach, where the second he hits the sideline, literally every member of that offense and coaching staff went to go talk to him to try to keep his confidence up. That was awesome to see.
Well, that's self-preservation, man. They know.
Nathaniel Hackett going up to him, he's like, don't ever get too high. Don't ever get too low. I love you. I got your back. We're going to get through anything that happens.
Yeah, because they know, which makes it different than last year, is they know he wasn't just outright anointed the position. He was
thrust upon it.
He was thrusted upon him, right? Same thing that happened to Mike White. They know Mike White wasn't anointed the position. It's not like he just lost it. He got thrusted in position and it's like, you know what? Like, cool, let's do it. The NFL saying is the most popular player on the team is usually the backup quarterback, man.
I've heard that many a time.
And that's because, like the pressure, like at that point when the backup comes in, something has probably gone wrong. And now it's about, guess what? Like this person was not supposed to be here, so we can't be mad, right? Whether it was due to the quarterback getting injured or just terrible quarterback play, right? So I'm hoping that Zach practiced as if he was going to be the starter. I've seen Zach have great preseasons and be absolutely terrible. I've seen him have injured-riddled, terrible preseasons and be terrible. So I don't know what to expect from him. I'm rooting for him to be good. I want him to succeed.
Terrible.
I want him to succeed. For me, it's like the best case scenario to me is that he's awful. And now the Jets are in position to at least be in striking distance. Striking distance, it doesn't have to mean necessarily, of course, I would want them to be at that point. But if they fall in the top 5, let's roll. Right?
That's where I think it's not going to happen.
It's never going to happen, right?
It's not going to happen.
The Jets
did you think, all right, the same for that. Talking possibilities, right? We never thought Aaron Rodgers was going to get injured 4 plays in and tears Achilles, right? So never say never. I'm just saying either they make the playoffs, which is great for me, or they're in the top 5, and they don't. Because nothing will derail a team. I don't care how good your defense is. Nothing will derail a team worse or better than a freaking turnover machine quarterback. If Zach was just terrible and he couldn't score, defenses can win those games. But Zach is not just terrible and he can't score. Zach is terrible, he can't score, and he's a turnover machine as well too, right? So just think about
I hope he'd fix that. From what we saw, outside of that interception with Milano, he did a better job of getting rid of the ball.
He looked okay.
He looked fine. I'm not going to sit here and say he was horrible. There was that Milano throw was awful. He stared him down the whole way. Like there was nowhere for him to go with that ball, and he gave it right to Milano. That was terrible. The film,
he gave up a wide open touchdown to the tight end, when they were in the red zone, and he scrambled and threw it away towards Dalvin Cook. If you look on the right side, he doesn't even look to his right side and go through his reads. He stares to the left side of the field. If he even glances to the right, the tight end walks in for a touchdown.
I think that's more because of the pressure that was being applied than anything, because a lot of the way the Bills were playing, the defense, they were just blitzing the line. They were like, okay, they were struggling. We're going to blitz the line. And it was very difficult, even with Rodgers out there on the first 2 attempts before he got injured. He couldn't hit his first read. He couldn't get past his first read. So it's like, all right, so we need to make it one read and boom, or you got to run. And that's, I think, what Zach did. And I think that's exactly what Hackett told him to do. If your first read's not there, you got to move.
If Hackett brings the Jets to a playoff win, Hackett might be gone again, man.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to play. If Rodgers is playing, he's not going.
Yeah, everybody on that coaching staff.
He might say no, but Ulbricht's gone. Ulbricht's gone. If they win,
I don't know if Ulbricht's going to. I don't know if they're going to take Ulbricht.
If Ulbricht finishes with a top 5 defense and they win a playoff game with this quarterback,
that's the only situation.
That's why I said he wins a playoff game. Ulbricht is gone, and he's deserving.
I'm not even worried about that. If Ulbricht is gone, I'm a big Ulbricht guy. I trust Saleh with whatever he does on the defensive side of the football.
Oh yeah, because
he's a defensive coach. That defense will look the same because this is the same defense he ran in San Francisco. I'm not worried about that at all.
But Ulbricht is going to take he's going to take and poach coaches.
It all depends. I'm not again. Saleh will do the same thing from San Francisco, from Houston, from anybody he's played with or coached with.
I mean, he'll take Ron. Ron is good. I like Ron.
Will he take Ron?
He'll definitely take Ron.
Oh, well, I think Ron will want to stay with Saleh.
No, I think he takes Ron. I think he takes Ron and he makes Ron a better coach. I think he makes Ron a higher
because Ron's the guy who would take over the head coaching job if something happened to Saleh.
Correct, but that's what I'm saying. I think Ober comes up to Ron and says, "Ron, I need you to not just handle the tight ends. I think you could be an assistant OC or something like that." He'll make Ron something more than a tight end coach. Happens all the time.
We're getting off topic.
I'm just letting y'all.
We're getting off topic.
I just want to run through the names real quick. Yes, rapid fire. Yes and no. Colt McCoy.
Yes.
Yes, I can do a Colt.
Carson Wentz.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Jameis Winston.
Nope.
I already said yes. Yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Nope.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Brissett from what you call it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
He's proved everywhere he's been he could be playable.
And last but not least, Tom Brady.
Absolutely not. Burning a fire.
If he was serious,
he was horrible the last year he played. No,
he wasn't horrible.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't good.
He was bad. He was very bad.
If he said yes, if he was serious,
Roz, don't do it.
Serious,
don't do it, Roz.
If he was serious, yes. He's not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If he was serious, absolutely.
Roz just left the Jedi Order. He's now a member of the Sith.
He's now a member. I'm trying to get that chip, bro. I'm trying to get that chip.
Not with washed Brady.
If washed Brady brings you the chip, who cares?
And let's not, we'd be remiss if we didn't explain, because the chat was on fire, that the Jets did win that game. Unbelievable.
We did win that game. Unbelievable game. And we won in a fashion that never happens for us.
Yep.
A fashion that always happens against us.
Always.
And as bad as it was on one side, the highs of that game were unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Again, haven't seen the stadium like that at the end either in a long time.
Like the screen was shaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Sorry.
When's the last time that's happened? That doesn't happen. And it's really cool now that the Jets have gone from, man, we're fucking tired of hearing about the Jets to, man, I fucking feel bad for the Jets. So we're going to give a little bit of compassion.
That is, I think, for me, right. And I think that's where I think the Jets will, ironically, it will help them throughout the season is if we had Rodgers and lost, we would be a laughingstock. But because we lost Rodgers and in the manner we lost him, we now have the empathy of the entire sports world and specifically the NFL.
I'm going to tell you what happened. You guys went from the villains because you absolutely were one of the villains.
The darlings.
So everybody feels sad for y'all. Everybody's rooting. Hey,
rooting for the Jets. Rooting for the Jets to do something.
Because say what you want. That Jets team played with so much grit. They all did everything they could.
Anthony doesn't believe in grit. He doesn't think it's a real thing.
No, Anthony believes in grit when it's beneficial to him. But like stats don't show grit, but when you watch the tape, all those guys on defense, that shows it. Like Jordan Whitehead, 3 interceptions. He already hit his incentive goal for the year,
which is amazing.
Hilarious.
Josh Allen handed him 2 of them, but
Josh Allen.
But still.
Josh, remember when I said when we did
with the football.
Remember when I said last week I have question marks?
I don't even think he was right. I just think those were just bad passes.
You can't throw rifles 90. You can't throw rifles deep. Rifles deep get picked. It's the same thing I said about Anthony Richardson. If you throw 90 miles an hour deep, it's getting picked every time.
The second one that he threw, Diggs was open. No, Diggs was open. He just overthrew him by 5 yards.
Because he threw across the field after running.
That's what I mean. He threw a bad ball. It wasn't a bad read or a bad. He just airmailed the ball. That's fixable. Do you
guys remember what I said last week where I said I have questions about the Bills offense, and my questions didn't get answered?
I disagree because they look They couldn't score, but they were moving that ball.
Remember when you guys told me about a 2 tight end set, and I said I don't know if they're going to run that. They didn't.
Yes,
they didn't do well.
They ran it.
I mean,
those tight ends didn't catch shit.
Come on, Dylan. Come on.
Those tight ends didn't catch shit. Their run game, they barely use it.
They didn't run the ball. Although Cook,
Cook was awesome. Cook was awesome.
Because Cook had a great game.
Cook was awesome, and they stopped using him.
Gabe made catches,
and I was very
made catches. And I'm not gonna. And it got to the point they was picking on Reed. It was picking on him.
Yeah, they were
making him look bad too.
Yeah,
I don't think he looked bad. I think he looked bad on the last drive. Yes, but again, that's Stephon Diggs.
I think Sauce looked worse than him throughout the
Sauce had a rough night too,
Dylan.
Sauce gave up 7 catches for 64 yards.
Yeah, and I would love to see how many targets he had because
they wasn't afraid of him.
Because it wasn't even that.
They kept moving him around. They had different guys on him, and they ran.
Sauce was on.
No, I'm talking about wide receivers. The wide receivers were moving around, and then that deep pass to Gabe Davis. Immediately, Roz was like, "Oh, Sauce got killed on that." I'm like, "No, Stephon Diggs literally boxed him out in the middle of the field."
He didn't box.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He stopped running his route, and Sauce got blocked.
Didn't touch him.
So
he did. He did. What are you talking about?
He didn't touch him because it's illegal. He can't touch him.
Pick plays don't happen in the NFL.
They happen all the time.
That was a pick play.
I didn't say it wasn't. You said he boxed him out. He did not touch that man. Did he touch that man?
You don't have to touch somebody to box him out.
Did he touch that man?
You don't have to touch him to box him out.
Touch that man?
No. Actually, yes, he did. Sauce ran right into him.
He did not touch that man.
Sauce ran right into him.
Sauce said
he may not have touched him. Sauce ran right into him.
Sauce said he had a bad game.
Sauce didn't play great. He did, but he didn't play horrendous.
He said that he had a bad game.
He played a very. I think he still played. He played a average cornerback game.
He attributed it to the late start. He said the late start made him sluggish because of everything else. He did say that. He did say that.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. No, I'm not denying that he said. I'm saying if he said that, that's not good. That's not good. If he said
I'm not looking into it too crazy because he went from being elite corner to having a good game.
I went from an elite corner to an average corner because you started at 8:30. No,
I mean, listen.
Here's what you need to realize, Mike. Is every elite corner in the NFL great every game?
You cannot tell me him giving the game started late is a valid excuse.
Yeah, no, I don't like that excuse. That's just what he said.
That is bullshit.
Because on the opposite side of the field, there was also a top 10 corner in football who gave up a nasty touchdown. Who gave up a nasty touchdown. Did Sauce give up any touchdowns?
No.
I'm good. That's all I need. How many receiving yards did Diggs have? Diggs had like 70 yards, and that was between Reed and Sauce.
I don't know.
Between the two.
I don't know how much.
The crazy thing is the Jets
defense had a good game though.
The Jets defense had like 5 sacks.
5 sacks, like was like 9 pressures.
And it's crazy because I thought that they weren't getting to the Bills as much as I would like them, which is scary because I don't know if this is them just like, playing for the first time. It's the first game. They're going to get better because that's terrifying. If you're an offense and you look at the Jets defense and you say, you know what, guys like Whitehead again, 3 interceptions, Quincy and Sherwood, who was awesome. Sherwood was awesome. You guys got like Sherwood and the linebacking core getting in tune, and then all of a sudden you have the safeties coming to play. What
the defense is only going to get better throughout the year because they're going to be getting more real in-game reps.
And God forbid Will McDonald actually gets better throughout the season. Then it's literally just waves of people.
Shout out to Jermaine Johnson.
Quentin Jefferson had 2 sacks. People don't understand. Quentin Jefferson had 2 sacks.
That defense played good.
Jets defense. What do you mean? Don't underplay it by that. The Jets defense was awesome.
Because we have to move along.
Give them the correct praise there.
They moved. They got the job done.
Give them the correct praise.
They played great.
They say they were awesome because they were fucking awesome.
No, they played great.
There we go.
They played great.
There we go.
Tua for MVP. Oh, James,
Tyreek Hill for MVP.
Tyreek
In
Hill
what
into a
world?
tie.
Uh-oh.
James.
In what world?
Nope.
Tyreek Hill.
Nope. If he doesn't complete the sentence, it doesn't happen.
Oh. Okay. Well, all right. I guess we're moving on. Tua for MVP.
I would go Tyreek Hill over Tua.
Him and Tyreek.
I mean, if Tyreek has 200 and some odd yards every game.
I mean, remember last year before Tua's injuries, Tyreek Hill was on pace for like a gajillion yards.
Yeah. He had 2,000 yards after he was injured. He still had 2,000 yards.
Yeah, he was on pace for a gajillion. So
last year before Tua got hurt, they were the best team in football.
No, they weren't. Their offense was really good as a team. No.
They
as
were
a
just
team, no, because
outscoring everybody. Dylan. No one could keep up with them.
Go look at the teams they played and then tell me otherwise. Because at the early part of the year, they weren't playing nobody.
God,
they were playing bad defenses. And then when Anthony dropped Tua last year, I said, Tua's got a stretch of Detroit, Chicago, and Minnesota. Those are three of the worst defenses in football. I'm going to take Tua.
Everyone just plays teams that everyone stinks.
If you're playing Mike, but here's the thing: if you're playing bad teams, you're of course you're gonna look like you're the best team in football.
Everyone.
You know who looks like they're the best team in football? Dallas.
They beat a good team on Sunday, though.
They did. They very much so did, and I'm not taking credit away from them. They beat an awesome team on Sunday. No, notice how I'm giving the Chargers credit because the Chargers are a good football team. Am I going to give you credit for beating, I don't know, the fucking Texans? No, I'm not. I'm actually shitting on the Commanders for barely beating Arizona.
Did they beat the Ravens last year, or that didn't happen? Or?
No, they did. That Ravens game was a stressful game, but they won because they fucking exploded. The Bills, they won because everybody on that Bills team had fucking heat stroke, and none of his starting receivers were on the field at the end of the game.
That Bills game is where I got my favorite meme of the Bills OC smashing his iPad.
That Bills game is still one of the craziest games I've ever seen because Stephon Diggs is literally laying on the sideline with heat stroke.
They couldn't stop the ball in time. Everybody was just sucking wind and losing their mind.
And shout out to all the Miami Dolphins players for getting in one of the wide receivers' way for trying to hand it to the ref, killed 3 seconds so they couldn't snap the ball. Awesome. I'll give them that.
You said it, Dylan, because we're going rapid fire. Are the Cowboys the best team in football?
Right now?
I thought they were anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't give them a ton of credit for beating the Giants.
Yeah.
I give them probably 0 credit for beating the Giants. When they beat us, am I going to give them credit? Yeah, because if Dak could put points on our defense, go ahead. Like,
yeah, I think
as a better man that day.
As of right now, I think Dallas is the best team in football.
The team I think lower of now is Philly.
No.
Absolutely. Philly's defense looks sus.
So
even after forcing those turnovers, Philly's defense looks sus.
So
that's because he hates Max.
Sirianni said that it's because they didn't get a chance to play with each other in the preseason.
They lost a lot of guys and they got younger. It's just those guys need more
Sirianni said
reps
that
together.
They didn't play with each other. He barely played anyone in the preseason. So he said next year he's going to play people more in the preseason as a result.
You need more reps. And Jalen Hurts had probably the worst game he's had in a few years.
Yeah. I think the Eagles are still like, I
still think the Eagles are like in that 3-team conversation in the NFC. It's just now it's like I have more questions, and it's kind of I wonder if teams are going to do that thing they do where they look at the Patriot game and how they played them on defense, but like, hey, let's just do that.
Good luck.
Because there's a handful of teams that the Eagles have to play this year that have awesome defenses that will probably take a page or two from that book because they have the personnel to do it.
I mean, yeah, it's a copycat league, so.
Like the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys will absolutely take a look at that and be like, okay. I think the Jets will take a look at that and be like, okay.
Yeah, could see that.
We'll see. Are the Packers for real?
I have to see more.
Yeah.
The ownership definitely got transferred from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Because man, he beat the brakes off those boys.
The Bears aren't a good team. I keep trying to tell everybody that.
The Bears spent money where they were supposed to spend money and just still look like they had no idea. There's no reason DJ Moore had only gotten 2 targets. Let me tell you some stats about the Bears. I listened to a Chicago podcast. It's awesome.
Stirs a drink.
You know how many passes they threw past the line of scrimmage on Sunday?
How many?
3. They threw 3 passes past the line of scrimmage on Sunday. 3.
Mike,
that's bad.
Mike. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say.
And the Bears are talking about giving Chase Claypool a healthy scratch.
You know what I'm gonna say.
I don't. Well, I told you that. Also, I don't think he's what he thinks he is.
Do you know? Hold on. Do you know why they're going to give him a healthy scratch?
No.
Because apparently during the Bears game, Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football tweeted out, "There is somebody on the Bears offense who is literally sleepwalking through this game. I'm not going to name names, but if you're watching the game, you know who you are." Every single comment down under it was 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. When you go back and you watch the plays, Chase Claypool was walking his routes.
Yep.
He was walking, instead of running corners off, he was walking them off.
Yep, because there was a
screenplay that he was supposed to block on. He just stood there, pushed a guy. He got pushed back and went and fell back. He was like actively throwing the game.
Because he felt like he wasn't going to get the ball.
So you just do that?
No,
so
I'm
he's
not justifying. I'm not justifying.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying in general, It's like, man, I'm not getting the ball. I'm just going to fucking throw a fit.
And isn't that what got him kicked out of Pittsburgh?
No, there was much more that got him kicked out of Pittsburgh. It was him and Juju doing TikToks on teams' logos.
And him throwing and then his image not getting the ball.
And his immaturity as a whole is what got him kicked out of
And Mike Tomlin don't play that shit.
But this Bears team is not good.
It's still not
talent.
I mean, I shouldn't say that. They do have talent.
They're not.
There's a lot of talent on that team.
What concerned me about that game was not Justin Fields. It was the Bears' defense. I thought the Bears' defense was better than that.
No, I thought so too.
The
Bears went and addressed some players on defense.
Jordan Love made them look bad.
You're concerned more about the defense than Justin Fields?
Because if they were going to win games, the defense was going to have to win them some games.
I don't think their defense was good enough to do that.
But you know what I'm saying? That like it wasn't.
No, I know what you're saying. I just think the Bears defense at best, if you're going to rank it, if it gets to its peak, I think is like 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, it's
a mid defense. But if you have a mid defense with a quarterback that's supposed to take a step and become
that's
a mid
quarterback,
that's
problem
the biggest
here.
Disappointment. They literally gave him everything you could possibly give.
Their offensive line hasn't gelled yet either.
Exactly, because Raj, we were watching that game. Was he not running for his life?
Yes.
Was he not running for his life?
But I think he was running because
he definitely got the happy feet where it was like
he was seeing ghosts.
I just assumed that this pressure, I gotta go. I agree. I think that happened.
So when Darnold sees ghosts, he sucks. When Fields sees ghosts, it's all he just needs some time to gel.
Because Fields could take off and as a Bugatti.
Because he knows he can take off.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
Well, because it wasn't designed for him to do. Like he wasn't supposed to run. He's supposed.
My question here is: if I'm Chicago, if I'm their offensive, I'm going to the offensive coordinator. I'm like, can we fucking get DJ Moore the ball? We spent a first round pick for him to have 2 targets.
And I thought that they were going to move him around, even use some jet sweeps. They were going to do a bunch of stuff. They did nothing. They lined them up traditionally, and Justin Fields couldn't even get him the ball.
I have no idea who the Bears offensive coordinator is. He could kind of go fuck off all the way because you need to use your talent. You need to use your talent in ways to get to the ball. When Percy Harvin was in the NFL, he wasn't an awesome receiver, right? He was a mid-average receiver. He was excellent if you could find different ways to get him the ball.
Correct.
He lined up at running back. He was wildcat quarterback. He was
unbelievable in today's NFL. He'd be unbelievable in today's with him with Kyle Shanahan would be scary.
The problem is we have worse Percy Harvin in Kansas City right now. We have much worse Percy Harvin, but if you get Tony the ball, he's fantastic. It's just he can't. You have to find a way to get him the ball.
We are going to move this along.
Yep.
because Roz has to go. We'll circle back to football when Anthony joins us
If
in the second half in the second half of the show. But we're going to bring Breezy back in because we're going to talk basketball because there is a major basketball story going on right now, and we got to talk about it. Kevin Porter Jr. has not been released. He is still an active member of the Houston Rockets as of the recording of this episode, but he is in trouble. He was arrested and charged for domestic violence, for beating up his girlfriend,
Can
allegedly.
somebody update me on this because I didn't really read into it because like egregious stories like that I try to like
stay
stay
away
away
from.
from it. I really haven't been I haven't been on Instagram really today. So
I have the story up here. So Kevin Porter Jr., 23 years old, pleaded not guilty to felony assault and strangulation charges in connection with the incident Monday at the Millennium Hilton near the United Nations in Manhattan. Prosecutors said he didn't stop until his girlfriend, former WNBA player Kaiser Gondrezic, ran out into the hallway covered in blood. He had a $75,000 bail and was ordered to stay away from Gondrezic. It was, according to criminal complaint, Kondrezich told police that Porter punched her repeatedly in the face with a closed fist, cutting her above the right eye and causing bruising and substantial pain to her face. Kondrezich said the NBA player also forcefully squeezed her neck with his hands, causing her difficulty breathing, redness, and bruising to her neck. Hospital testing showed that Kondrezich, 26 years old, sustained a fractured vertebrae in her neck, the criminal complaint said.
mm,
There's
wow.
also word coming out of TMZ and stuff that he apparently attacked her because she had locked him out, and then he got in and attacked her while she was asleep, while she was sleeping.
Yep. Yeah, this is
That's
one of those
heavy.
things where it's super heavy, right? Obviously, you don't want to believe everything right off rip
Yeah,
because you never know. And I hope the story is fake, but from what I
everyone does.
understand, it is very real,
Very real.
very very real. And jokingly, I brought up to the group chat yesterday, and I said I can't wait for Malika Andrews to talk about this because Anthony believes Malika Andrews only attacks black men, but no, she only attacks people who are being pieces of shit, and he's
Yeah.
being a piece of shit. And this is one of those things where James and I, as girl dads here, hits very close to home, very close to
Yeah.
home
Yeah, you got to
because
pack
it's
up Kevin Porter, man. I
yeah,
told
keep him away. It sucks that they didn't just waive him and just be like, get the fuck out of here. They're like, oh, we're gonna try to trade him with draft compensation to get him out of here. Who's gonna want to trade for him?
Nobody.
Just waive him. Who fucking cares? That's tone deaf. As an organization, we're like,
telling you,
yeah, we
man.
want to get rid of him, but like we also want something for him. No,
What
he's being a piece of shit. Get
what
him out.
Telling you,
what
man.
was the situation with Mikal Bridges? Miles Bridges, sorry.
We're not gonna do that to Kel.
No, yeah, my apologies. What was the
Miles
situation with
Bridges,
Miles
I
Bridges
think
and what makes it separate? I mean different.
it doesn't make it different,
It
really,
doesn't.
because
Miles
Miles
Miles pled no contest to his,
and they settled.
and yeah, and
Miles
I
No,
settled
I'm
and they
think
talking
pled no.
about in regards to the involvement of the league in
The
his
league
case.
didn't do
he didn't do
anything
anything.
officially because he didn't sign.
He did.
If
He
he would
wasn't
have
on a team.
signed, he
Yeah,
would
he
have been
wasn't on.
suspended. So what they did was after the court hearing came out, they issued out a suspension which was already served because he didn't play. So they're like, hey, well, we're gonna issue like a 70-game suspension or whatever the
Something like
fuck it
that.
is.
Yeah.
Something along those
I thought it
lines.
was 50, but you might be right.
One of those lines.
So
It's something. They issued a game amount suspension that technically were paid and played through because he just
You weren't
wasn't on a
employed.
roster.
Yeah, you weren't employed by the NBA.
Yeah, you weren't employed by a
Yeah.
team, so that suspension counts. So
so
it would have been any
so
team
right
that
now
would have picked him up.
it's safe to say that the league is waiting for a verdict to possibly suspend or not.
Well, their investigation
According to
began.
Adam Silver, the allegations here are horrific, no question about it. But I don't know anything more of course, about the actual facts other than reading those allegations.
Yeah, they do
We
their
have
own
a domestic
investigation.
violence policy that was collectively bargained with the Players Association. They certainly feel as strongly as we do about the issue. Every case, though, also depends on its unique facts. So we will probably wait until you get the facts before Adam Silver drops the hammer.
Yeah. Or right, the NBA does their own investigation, and they always
Which
do
they will
that,
because of the
right? Which
feds.
they will, right? And usually it's like in tandem or in parallel to when the actual court or legal goes through. So be prepared to, regardless of what this happens, whether they settle, whether they find him guilty, the NBA will find out a lot earlier than when that verdict comes in, and
Mm-hmm.
they will take matters in their own hands. I think the NFLPA is gearing up for something super serious because here's the thing, right? Here's the optics. Trying to tell people, it's not just him doing this to his girlfriend. The NBA and the WNBA are very much lock and step.
They're brother and sister companies.
And there's already rumblings about equal pay. There's already rumblings about the discrepancies between the WNBA players and the NBA players and how they're treated. So you can imagine if the NBA somehow lacks on this and it gets out to the WNBA that
which it will,
inferior to you guys, not only in pay, but as people on and off the court, the NBA cannot open that can of worms.
I'm expecting a ban.
He's going to get the
We've
hammer.
seen ban for much less.
The hammer. He's not just going to get banned.
He's going to get a lifetime ban. He's going to get extradited. He's going to get extradited from the NBA.
Super bad, right?
From basketball, probably.
From basketball, possibly bad. And the Rockets can play games too, because the longer they deal with this, the longer they hold this whatever, I think the Rockets are being cowards. I get it, but I think the Rockets can also do all their internal investigations as well too, and to get somewhat in there. I think the Rockets are just hiding behind the NBA and saying, well, we're just going to let the NBA do this and we're not going to make a move. But I think the Rockets have a clear indication, right? Because, by the way, this is not the first time Kevin Porter has had a domestic abuse
issue. Yeah.
It is not.
And they traded for him. So now the Rockets need to really kind of step up here. And I'm hoping that they just don't say, well, you know, the league did whatever they did and now we're going to go whatever. Everyone deserves a day in court. I think the Rockets need to just, because here's what I think about the Rockets before I stop is the Rockets can make a decision as the Houston Rockets. They don't need the courts to tell a verdict that they need to be able to release him. They can just say, listen, Kevin, we appreciate what you've done here. We don't even want that kind of stain on our organization. We don't want to be associated with that at all. Even allegations, we don't want to be dealt with that. And they can just eat his contract. You can be cut at will. You can be cut for just conduct detrimental. You don't even have to go ahead and just wait for all this. But see, this is where the Rockets are failing now.
The Rockets failed for me because I read a report that they waived. They waived. I'm like, all right, cool. They've wiped their hands with them, just to then find out, like, no, we're looking for a trade, actually.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. Now all the sports are kind of being a little funky now, man. Now, because like, you know, it's being weird. Now it's being weird because the Rockets are also a representation of the NFL. I mean, of the NBA. And much like how the San Francisco 49ers were a representation of the NFL with the whole cap situation, much like what's going on with the MLB, with the whole situation where they have rampant domestic violence situations. It seems like every year we have a guy or two that's just in a domestic violence situation or something like that. It's a point where you have to really sit back and say, all right, it's a lot of like business decisions being made, right? As fans, it's like, you know, the players know, and we always hear them talk about it, but as fans, we have to understand as well too, that a lot of this is just business for these people, especially the owners. So they can drag this out as long as possible, man. And I just think that if you're anywhere related to, you know, that young lady's family, you know, if that was me, Kevin Porter has to be a Pat. If that's my sister, if that's my brother, if that's my daughter, like he got to go. If we find out he did that, broken her vertebrae. He got to go. He got to go, man. You know, and
Gotta
that's
go.
real. He got to go. He
Before
got to
you
go.
play that,
If he don't go, what are we doing? He got to go.
he gotta go.
Man.
Before you play that, Dylan, because we're on a serious note, I need to do a time check with Roz because I know you have to go. And even though this is a serious topic, we do have something fun that we have to do before you go. So if you have time for the clip.
Yes, I have time for it.
All right, Dylan, roll that.
Now I'm talking to you as a father of two daughters. I'm talking to you as a father of two daughters. See, if my daughters are listening to this, they know what daddy's about to say. It's not a popular thing to say. But law enforcement is going to be necessary for anybody that puts their hands on my daughter. I promise you that. Yes, I will do you harm. Anybody, any man that puts his hands on my daughter, it's going to be a problem. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want it cut out and weaved out. Who knows what you're supposed to say over the digital stratosphere, the streaming stratosphere, as opposed to FCC airways. I'm not going to say what I would do, but look into my eyes. Any man hits my daughter, it's a wrap. Make no mistake about that shit. With everything I love, on everything I love, on the soul of my mother, any man that hits my daughter, it's going to be a problem. And I speak on behalf of most, if not all, fathers I know. See, you got to be a real punk to do what it's alleged Porter Jr. has done here. You got to be a real punk because obviously she's in no position. She's not in much of a position anyway to defend herself against the likes of him. And I got to tell you right now, I'm praying that this is a false report. I'm praying that I wake up and this was all a lie, that she didn't get covered in blood or, he didn't hit her or whatever the case may be.
Couldn't have said it better.
It's gonna said it better.
It's heavy, man.
Because, like you said, we don't. It's still allegations. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if,
even if not, I've seen people get waived for less. That's my gripe.
Just for being involved,
That's
just for
my
having the
gripe.
allegation.
I've seen people get waived for less. So I mean, take that as you will.
because what's the worst case? The Rockets waive him, and then oh my gosh, he's innocent. She I don't know how, but I'm just saying she made the whole thing up. It didn't happen that way. He's innocent. Then there's a bunch of teams that will go sign him. He's talented enough to get picked up by another team, and Houston just set the precedent that we're not dealing with that.
That's fine. And people lose out on superstars all the time.
It just
Happens all the time. It's okay.
But what we can't do is have him sitting on the roster and just waiting and letting the sand run out.
Yep.
Hoping that maybe because it's inexcusable. You can't even defend this. You can't even defend what he's alleged to have done.
It's all bad. I think honestly, like outside of all that stuff, I think Steve A makes a great point. Like I think too much has been put on how heinous of a person Kevin Porter is, and we need to put more emphasis and empathy with the young lady and what she's going through and her family's going through. And I wish her the best. Nobody needs to be in that situation. Domestic violence is very serious. And I just hope that, she recovers very well. I hope it doesn't affect her career. They're talking about broken vertebrae. I just hope that, this doesn't derail her dreams because she's also playing in the WNBA, and you know how hard it is to get to that point in your career as an athlete. So, I just really hope that a lot of people can rally around her, and that she's okay. You know, um, we'll definitely want to make sure that I mention that.
My thing is, like I said earlier on off mic before the pod to Dylan, is that I never understand like how reactionary these people that are in these established positions, like I don't get it. Like, and I and like Ross says, I'm not trying to steer the conversation away from the victim, but like for someone like Porter Jr., it's like, do you realize what you're doing in the moment, or do you realize before you do that what's at stake, or not even what's at stake, like what you're about to do as just a man towards a woman? Obviously, because I'm mentioning like his career and stuff like that, but like, are you that emotionally imbalanced that you have to react that way? And obviously, I already know the answer because we see it every day. People do it every day. The people do it all the time, and you just don't understand. Like me as a person, I just don't understand.
I was about to say, not to cut you off, just, I've never been so angry that I wanted to fight somebody who was sleeping. I've never been that angry at anyone in my life that be that angry that I want to hit someone while they're sleeping. Like,
Someone you're with though.
like,
I mean, it doesn't condone it, but I have this odd feeling that he possibly could have been inebriated as well too. Because in my mind, and I'm with you, James, the same way. Like, I'm thinking to myself, how could a man who almost almost jeopardized his career multiple times with his character, with his play, with the domestic violence before, and then now you do this with a chance to redeem yourself and have literally most of these NBA players have generational wealth, right? Um, Kevin Porter, I believe, was a first round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
yes,
So
it
Mhm.
was.
he has generational wealth. So it's like I don't understand. Yeah, and James, you're right. How do people with so much that they've gained and so much that they can lose, just like do things like this? But it's a tale as old as time.
Especially when
Tale
you
as
got
old.
in trouble for this before.
It's not
Like,
his first rodeo. That's the thing. It's not his first rodeo. That's I, listen, man. I hope, like Steven is. I hope it's not true, man. I hope it's not true, and this is all just like, you know. I mean,
Hope it's all hyperbole and just talking to the side and just allegations.
yeah,
But
yeah,
as of right now, if this as stands, fuck them. As simple as that. Fuck them.
hey,
yeah,
you get no argument from me.
yeah. Same here. No arguments on this side.
And until he is uh, found not guilty, or the day when they send his ass to jail,
Fuck them.
he will not be mentioned on this show anymore. But
Mm.
we move on. We have some fun stuff to do though before Ron gets out of here. The wheel is back, and thanks to James, I must thank James because he is it's him. It's his idea. Normally, if you've been watching, our wheel, just the background music for the wheel is just our normal intro, but not this season. Thanks to James, we have this eerie Undertaker music.
Oh.
The wheel is here. But we will play it in a second because we have to set it up. Because this is about 6 months in the making. March Madness, which if you joined us in our first year, the loser had to do the hot chip, which was me. This year, whoever finished in last place or did not submit a bracket has to spin the wheel. And whether he wants to admit it or not, Roz did not submit a bracket into the challenge and thus automatically has to spin the wheel of devastation. And here we are. The Roz counter, the wheel has been waiting for Roz for months. For months. Roz had to spin the wheel and conveniently went blind and had to go get laser surgery on his eye.
Conveniently.
Conveniently went blind and had to have surgery on his eyes. So now that he is healed, Raj tried to move to another state. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The wheel will follow. Raj, this is Raj's first go around with the wheel. Raj, do you want us to explain what's on the wheel?
Yo, Mike is content over everything. The narrative spin.
No.
Can we get the wheel spin?
I would rather spin.
I see what you did there.
I would rather spin and then get an explanation of what that's going to be.
Okay, we're going blind.
Before you spin, Dylan, since the three of us are here and Raj refused to spin the wheel unless James and Dylan were both here, because some of these is winner based. James won March Madness, right?
I did.
You did. So does that mean that Dylan control? Because some of these shot the picture. If he gets the picture
challenge and shot o'clock are winner based.
So he would have to hold a picture of you.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we're agreed on that, James. So we're gonna Dylan. Technically,
the luxury of being the winner and Mike not winning March Madness for 2 years in a row after talking all that shit for Mike to finish in last and then not first is one of my life's greatest accomplishments.
I'm gonna win this shit. Doesn't matter.
Whatever you say.
Here it is.
All right.
But we'll get there.
Roz, any last words?
Any last words for the spin? Do you want a best 2 out of 3? Nah.
No, don't offer him that.
Cue the Undertaker music.
Glad you're all enjoying this. I'm glad
This is amazing. Oh.
The big challenge. That is actually going to be
hilarious.
That is going to be fun too. We get to see how this works live in real time.
Hey Dylan, won't you explain to what our contestant just won?
So Roz, good luck. You have to, for the duration of the pod or the time that you're on the pod, do the podcast with a spoon in your mouth while balancing an egg. And every time your egg falls, cracks, you have to keep putting it on and falling and cleaning up and all that over and over again throughout the duration of your time on the podcast.
New egg every time.
Every time.
Ridiculous. Fine.
Don't worry, I have to spin too. Don't get rid of it yet. Because I also have a spin. Because I owe Roz.
Because now, you owe Roz. I don't even remember what you owe Roz.
Tyrese Maxey.
Excuse me. James, can you please correct Dylan?
Tyrone.
I swear to God, I hate Anthony more than anything in my life.
Yes.
Because anytime Anthony mentions anything, Anthony is the guy when the perfect game is going on is going to go up to the pitcher and just be like, "Hey, you know you got a perfect game going on."
Oh my god!
Probably gives up a base hit next inning.
Probably gives him not even a base hit, a fucking home run. Yeah, a home run breaks up the perfect game on the last out.
Maxey,
Meanwhile, Tyrese Maxey is
crushes it.
balling in Game 5, killing it. Has 30, and then Anthony comes up and he just goes, "Damn, Dylan's really about to win this bet." Fucking
Dylan's like, "Shut the fuck up, Anthony."
Shut the fuck up, Anthony. Why the fuck would you say that?
No more points for the rest of the
He didn't score again. He even
not even no more points. Bro. He missed the last shot he took, which was a 3. After he went 5 for 6 from 3.
Just not built like that.
It's Anthony putting the energy into the ether to prevent me from winning this bet.
Wasted potential.
Putting everything out into the ether for this bet.
He's not built like that.
No, Anthony, but you know who is Anthony? Anthony's built to live in that pocket of yours.
If only you would change this wheel spin to Erykah Badu's Call Tyrone. I would love that.
Well, you got money to pay for that copyright?
I love that. I would love to just hear the call.
I will never forgive Anthony. So now, whenever I can, I root against Anthony for literally everything. Literally everything. Oh, Anthony needs the Yankees to win? Sorry, man. I'm sorry. The boys and pinstripes are gonna have to lose just because you need them to win. I fucking hate you and everything you stand for, you motherfucker.
Fault that Tyrone didn't score those points. He had multiple.
yes, it is.
He had multiple chances, by the way.
It is absolutely. No, he had one more chance. Actually,
he had multiple chances.
He had one more chance.
Yeah, and
he was cooking.
All they had to do was win the series, and you could have multiple chances. I was that confident.
Listen. You were quaking in your boots the second he hit 30. The second he hit 30. But then the second Anthony opened his mouth, you're like, I'm good. I don't got to worry about it because Anthony spoke it into existence.
I remember because that was the game 5. That was the game that Philly absolutely collapsed too. Everything was going right, and then they just completely collapsed.
Another Doc Rivers masterclass of coaching.
Oh man,
nice doing business with you.
You got bailed out by your boy.
Nice.
Why don't you tell him to climb out of your pocket to come onto the pod?
The
Play the music, Michael.
Play the music.
I can't do this one for a while, but I will try something.
So So what happens here?
I will do a TikTok dance vid, but
can't do this for months.
I can't do this for a while. So back burner.
2 out of 3.
I want to say you really can't.
You need to spin that again.
Okay. At the request of the man.
James, unanimous?
All right. Cue the music.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Oh no.
What is that?
Oh, no.
What is that? That's literally on the line. That's literally on the line. Can I zoom in?
Oh.
That's literally on the line.
It's the algorithm.
Oh no.
Percentages don't lie.
That's literally on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a hot gummy bear challenge.
I'm not gonna duck it like Anthony though. I'll take it.
Oh my.
I mean, I feel like you and Anthony should do this at the same time.
Oh my.
Oh, that'd be great. That's great.
I'm here for it,
Mike.
I'm here for it. But you know Anthony's gonna magically lose his.
Oh, we're gonna make sure that this gets done. But that's what because he's gonna chicken. We have to make sure we're
if
there.
he
with
finds
that.
out that you have this, he might actually do it.
No,
Oh, 'cause
he's
he
gonna
wants to
he's
laugh.
gonna say he did it and then watch me do it.
Exactly. Like
The yellow belly man he is, right, Mike? You call him a
Yellow
yellow
belly.
belly.
Yellow belly.
Can't let them mother man keep calling you yellow belly.
Oh man, Dylan, I thought you had it.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
That picture would have been funny too.
The picture would have been easy. That's easy. That's a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, out of all the challenge,
That's
yeah.
the get out of jail free card. I still am a little upset that it's literally on the line. But
Hey, but
I'll take it.
It wasn't. At least it wasn't something that we had to argue about. The system just said, "No. This is hot gummy bear."
They know. The algorithm knows.
they need to fix the algorithm. It should just say spin again. It didn't land on. It literally didn't land on anything. It landed on the line.
Didn't you want to put that on the wheel, Dylan? Didn't you want to put like double spin or winner select? That's supposed to be on there.
That was one of the ones that those are my idea, and Anthony was vehemently against.
That's why it's not on it, because Anthony didn't want it, because we were going to put winner select on there. I remember.
It was because Anthony was ducking the wheel spin. And I said, hey, why don't we add double spin? And then you spin it twice as another punishment.
And it was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And then I was like, okay, what about winner? What about winner selects? He was like, nope, because he didn't want to give us power. Anthony didn't want to give us power.
Because he would have been eating that hot chip. I'll tell you that.
Looking forward to this. I will also, next time I'm on, I will participate in this
no choice.
Egg challenge.
You have no choice.
I'll buy you a nice cupped spoon, buddy.
I better get you a nice one. I don't know how you're gonna yell about Zach Wilson with a spoon in your mouth.
Just get you a ladle. You'll be fine.
Sure.
Zach Wilson, he threw 2 interceptions. And fucking mess. You might as well just have a cart of the eggs right next to you.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck. Damn it. Fuck. Wifey's just like, why are we buying another cart of eggs? You're like, because.
Don't worry about it. Mind your business.
I don't, like, why are you buying 5 carton of eggs?
You'll see soon.
Why are you getting so many eggs?
Imagine, you saw how much the fork was moving.
Hope you got some milk over there.
Thanks for having me.
Hope you got some milk with you.
Hot gummy bear.
I can't eat milk, drink milk, so I'll have almond milk. I'll have everything, ice cream. I'll have it all.
Ice cream did it for me. Ice cream helped for me.
I'll have it all. I'll have bread. I'll make it work. I've eaten a spicy thing or two like this before. I'm a champ. Am I going to have my OJ glove like Mike? No.
I don't know. OJ glove saved Mike. Because if you'd have rubbed his face,
no, I'm just going to pick it up with a paper towel.
He would have got under his fingernails. He'd have been suffering that night.
Had to put the glove on, because if you touch your face, you're dead.
You're done.
Dunzo.
Remember that video?
All timer. We need to repurpose that.
Yeah, I've been saying to myself, I'm gonna promote that, because that should be our #1 watch video.
Yeah, we need to repurpose that and put that out every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Mike looked like he jumped in a goddamn pool.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. I'm glad to be back. It's been a long time in the making, so.
Yeah, that's right. We appreciate you coming back. Pop it in. We will see you next week.
Yes.
When you go off about Zach Wilson sucking against the Cowboys.
At the end of the day, it's the Cowboys. So that's how I think about it. This is the Cowboys. I don't expect Zach to beat the Cowboys, but I do expect the defense to try to make it close and give Zach a chance.
Yep. That's my hope too.
And I hope Zach does the thing that Sam Darnold did after his mono game. Go in there and beat the fuck out of the Cowboys, because the Cowboys haven't beaten us in like 10 years.
Not going to
Who
bet on
knows?
that streak.
Not if their daddy was playing, then I would have picked us. But Aaron Rodgers unfortunately ruptured his Achilles, so daddy's not playing.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you.
All right, Roz.
All right, we appreciate you. Well, as the party continues, we only have a couple topics left though. I mean, we have a few things we can talk about. We could talk about Israel Adesanya losing.
Let's hit the fantasy focus.
Okay,
let's hit that. I'll make the decision for us.
Let's go with fantasy focus. Where is my banner? We need to get music for this.
We do.
This year's fantasy focus is still sponsored by Mike Ortiz, but it's Mike Ortiz now at Total Mortgage.
Good job.
So,
what a week one we had in fantasy football.
So, James, I want you to understand this. We have two conferences. We have Western Conference and an Eastern Conference. Every team in the Eastern Conference won, which means every team in the Western Conference lost.
Jeez.
So, Mario, Blackheart, Mike Ortiz, Roz, and Big Brother all got their ass whooped. Steven got his ass whooped exceptionally bad. So thank you, Michael.
By this guy.
Thank you, Michael.
Banner night was a success for me. We raised the banner and promptly stomped out Steven in a rematch of last year's championship.
You've done me good twice here, where you beat him in the finals and you beat him to start off.
So in the East team, East Conference, who's who? Whose team?
So Sin City Seepers is Anthony. Teenage Mutant and Jigba Turtles is me. A Tannehill to Die On is Mike. Harlem's Mellow Giants V. Big Truz is Darius.
In the West, AI is better than Ja.
Is Mario.
Beantown Go F Yourself is Blackheart. Ortiz, the mortgage guy, is obviously Mike Ortiz, the mortgage guy.
Florham Park Stranglers
is Roz. And your mom, I don't know if we could say that.
Your mom's Bush is Steven.
And as you can see, Steven is in last place because he
scored the fewest points.
Got stomped out.
He had a bad week. Anthony got very lucky with having a couple unbelievable performances on his team.
But nevertheless, for this week, he is in first place.
Yes, he is in first, and I will let him have that. But he had two great performances on his roster last week, where he had Tyreek Hill was the league high with 44.5, and the Jets defense had 20 points.
Both of which are abnormal. James, those are abnormally high point totals.
Because everybody else that Anthony had, pedestrian.
Average, yes.
Pedestrian.
Average.
He barely cracks 100 if Tyreek Hill just gives him like a normal, I think, 18. Or he'll be like over like 110. But everybody else was exactly where they were supposed to be. But he got two great performances out of the Jets, because the Jets defense usually doesn't do turnovers, but they got a turnover, and then the punt return at the end of the game also gives them a touchdown.
Oh, wow. That's defense.
Yeah, defense and special teams.
That's three turnovers and a touchdown.
4 turnovers and a touchdown.
4 turnovers and a touchdown. It took all of that for Anthony to have
as good of a
point score.
Yeah, because
he would have lost. He would have lost.
Yeah, like Blackheart had a great week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great week. It's just you take the 44 away, and you just give him 18. Anthony just gets whooped. Roz had a tough week, I think. Let's go take a look at the Florham Park Stranglers. Yeah, he didn't crack 100.
Yeah, he didn't crack 100.
Jalen Hurts didn't play well.
Not only
Najee Harris didn't do anything.
Not only did he not crack 100, Darius also had a bad week and still beat him.
Yeah.
And that especially pains Roz because Darius has turned into a bit of a nemesis for Roz.
The boogeyman.
He is the boogeyman because he's definitely the boogeyman for me.
This week, I'm looking to take over that top scoring spot now that I get Travis Kelce back.
Yes. You're famous. I'm fine without Kelce. I'm fine without.
And I was fine without Kelce because I won. I didn't need him, even though I got a little scared there because of Stephon Diggs. But luckily, I had Greg the Leg and I had Garrett Wilson to secure the dub.
But in the other league that me and Roz are in, Roz did win his week 1 matchup. So he can hang his hat on that. But yeah. Oh, we gotta go back. Who was in last place? Who technically
Steven.
Oh, so yeah, he had the least points.
Steven's in last place because he scored like 78 points.
He is technically in last.
That's not technically. He is last. he is in all reality last. He scored 85 points, 13 points lower than Roz, and he has the third most points against, which sucks.
Yeah.
But hey, only week 1. That should have given him waiver priority. So whatever moves he needed to make didn't happen. Meanwhile, Roz made 5 moves. V made 8.
Yeah, I saw V was cooking. But yeah.
Oh well. It is what it is. I have second to last waiver priority, so whatever.
All I know is we're
undefeated.
Undefeated.
Never lost.
This train just keeps on going.
Stay in your lane, Steven. Stay in your lane. Big ballers over here. Shout out to LeVar Ball.
Never lost.
Undefeated, never lost.
Never
Stay
lost.
in your lane.
So that is fantasy focus. This segment will get longer as basketball comes because we will be doing fantasy basketball this year too. And guess what? The same rules apply. You finish in last place. The wheel will be appearing and will be following you like the Grim Reaper.
I'm glad we're actually doing this unlike last year where we said, yeah, we're going to do fantasy basketball, and we just didn't.
Everyone said no, but no, it's okay.
I said yes.
No, I'm not letting it die out this time.
We're good because we have people. So the 3 of us, Roz is down. Anthony, I'm assuming
Fredo will be down.
Make him do it. Fredo is down. Flo apparently is Flo told me he's down.
Yeah, he's down.
French, maybe.
Ooh, we're gonna have a big league.
French, and not to ruin the surprise and give extra pressure because she's gonna hate it. My girlfriend is going to join us as well.
Ooh.
Yes.
May I make a suggestion for the league?
What?
We don't do a draft and we do bids. Have you ever done that? Where you bid on your players and you fight over your top players and you bait people into doing stuff? Because I've never had more fun in my life than doing a basketball draft where you are allotted an amount of money and you have to pay for your players. Because that can ruin somebody if they're like Anthony. If Anthony were to do this, he's like, I want Giannis.
You just want to screw Anthony. That's it. Pause.
You don't know me. You don't know me. Because there's so much strategy in that, and just like, oh, first pick, I'm going to put Trae Young on the block. Who wants Trae Young?
And see how much we can
somebody get. Like Anthony's going to be like, I want $80 for Trae Young. Okay, cool. Waste your money.
I want $80. You only have $300. 80.
Okay.
I mean,
I did that. Zion's rookie year. I had the first pick. I was the first person to select a player. I put Zion first overall, just to start the chaos, to see people give up $70 for Zion. I was like, yeah, we're here, we're here.
It's something to be tabled. We can put it out there. James doesn't. James looks busy.
Imagine recording that live, the infighting between all of us. Piece of shit! Fuck you. We can marinate on it.
It's like I like it, but I don't because if you don't want someone to have a certain player, you can just run the bid up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all petty. It's all petty and strategy.
Yeah, you love these petty games.
I do. I enjoy it. Nothing brings me more joy than causing chaos. It's something to marinate. I seasoned the steak. We just put it in the fridge. We just put it in the fridge. Let it marinate.
All right, you want to talk about FIBA?
Yes, let's, because I have much an opinion. Because Roz is ridiculous.
Yeah, I wanted to get to this before he left, but Jets talk went long. So, but I didn't
to be expected.
Yeah, I didn't expect Aaron Rodgers to rupture his Achilles. So,
it's supposed to be like 40 minutes shorter.
Yeah, Jet talk. It had to go. It's the number one story in the NFL right now. So,
gotta do our due dilly.
But yeah, the USA men in FIBA did not medal. Bounced in the semifinals by Germany of all people. Dennis Schroeder. And then I really don't think they really care. I mean, they played hard.
They didn't care.
But I don't think they cared about that game against
There was
Canada.
3 people on that team that cared. That's it.
And Canada promptly got the USA out of here.
Dylan Brooks scoring 39.
Being named the best defender in the tournament, which Twitter has now proclaimed him the best defender in the world, which is hilarious. Hilarious.
But hey, good for Canada. So what happens when you sit your 4 of your team's best players, and then your team's probably actual best player decided he was gonna like go AWOL and be like, I'm not gonna play anymore. And Brandon Ingram. Because Brandon Ingram deciding that you're like, you know what? I'm not going to play a role. I should be playing all the minutes and I should be scoring every bucket is ridiculous.
Like him being mad that Anthony Edwards is out here balling. Wow, you that's not
selfish.
It's not very Duke like you.
That's
Steve Kerr should have called Coach K. That's what he should have did.
Yeah, because Ingram was there for 6 months with Coach K and gives a fuck.
Doesn't matter. Coach K this wouldn't have happened on a Coach K team.
No, because my favorite story from here is Steve Kerr going up to Anthony Edwards is like, we need to put you off the bench. He was like, well, why? He's like, well, Kobe came off the bench. He goes, we don't have a Kobe. And that's a very fair point. So what did Anthony Edwards go and do then? He was the team's leading scorer.
Mm-hmm.
To demand he's in the starting lineup. Like, I'm in the starting lineup because you guys need me to score. Right? That's going to be my role to play, because the first game they didn't score a ton. They barely got by off of doing the everybody gets 8 points type of deal. Anthony Edwards we needed that guy. The problem is only 3 or 4 guys on the team actually decided they were going to play the role they needed to play.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else kind of fucked off. That's why it's like, when it comes to this next for the Olympics, even if they don't play during the Olympics, right? If Jalen Brunson's not on the Olympic team, if Mikal Bridges isn't on the Olympic team, and if Anthony Edwards aren't on the Olympic team, then what was the point of this?
I think the three of them may have earned their way on the Olympic team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They earned their spot to be there, because Anthony Edwards, team's leading scorer, Jalen Brunson was awesome. He led the team as their leader, and Mikal Bridges was literally the most efficient player on both sides of the ball and the second leading scorer on the team.
And he will be very important
because he will play whatever you need him to play.
Mm-hmm.
You need him to go be your defender? Okay, I'll go be my defender. Oh, you need him to go get you a bucket? Okay, I'll go get you a bucket.
And won't say a word.
And he's just gonna be happy about it. He's gonna be smiling, enjoying the time, and and relishing playing with everybody. And the play that he made to force overtime against Canada was unbelievable. Was unbelievable. That's not even me being like the net fan. That's just like basketball.
No, I'm not gonna hate. That was an unbelievable.
How many times do you see the missed free throw not work? Right, purposely missed a free throw. Not only did he purposely miss a free throw, he went and got it
perfectly,
and then
perfectly.
Ran to the corner, turned around, fade, bang, forced overtime.
Like, wow.
I'm so looking forward to him this season, to having him for the full season. I think it's gonna be awesome, but like, this is what happens when you just grab like a bunch of C-tier stars who think they like are more important.
I think that they're A's.
Than they are.
This is my time to show everybody. And,
whereas if you got the group of A's, they're all like, okay, what do you need us to do? And
think that they're better. Clearly fell into the same trap that everyone on Twitter and everyone, Roz included, that just because it says USA on your jersey, as soon as you step on the court, you're now just better than everyone in the world. Like,
no,
it does.
The problem is the rest of the world. Like, he's like, do you think this roster could have gotten gold? Yes, I do think this roster could have gotten gold because as far as talent goes, this talent that played is on par with the rest of the world. But it never was supposed to be like, oh, this team's like not even our best team. It's not our best team. This is the team of guys that wanted to play in the FIBA tournament, the FIBA Select group. Like, this is it. Then it's like, oh, after we lose, oh, LeBron's going to come. This person's going to come. This person's going to come. Well, if that's the case, we're not going to lose.
At all.
But remember, we just won gold. Like, USA just won gold without Steph Curry, without James Harden, without Kyrie Irving, without Anthony Davis, like, without insert name here.
It felt like this was the C team it felt like the B team won gold.
It was Kevin Durant, it was Damian Lillard, it was Drew Holiday,
Booker, and Dame.
And Dame was bad. And Dame was bad in those Olympics.
He didn't play good.
Dame got benched for Drew Holiday.
Because he wasn't
Bam Adebayo. What's his face from San Antonio? Keldon Johnson, who was a last-minute replacement. Like, the team that won gold was nowhere near the level of talent that's saying they're going to play the next year. Never mind, because Tatum was there, Jaylen Brown was there. But, like, LeBron, Steph, Booker, AD, Tatum, Durant, all those guys said they're coming back. So it's like, you just want, and everybody was saying when that team lost to Nigeria in like the prelims for going, they're like, oh, this team's in so much trouble. They went on and just fucked up everybody. But again, you also have these random players for teams that will just go off because they are that team's Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like Patty Mills gave us 45 in the semifinal.
Because it's a different mindset when you know you have to score in order for your team to win.
And you also care more because you know what your role is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Redick made an awesome point in that video that I sent where he was like, you're going to play harder, you're going to care more when you know what your role is on a team. It's going to be significantly different than when you're not the role player, you are the star of your team. And you don't get a lot of chances like that in the NBA, where it's like Patty Mills. Patty Mills is an awesome role player for the majority of his career. He goes to Australia. He's now player number one.
Yeah, he's player A or maybe at worst player B.
And these are all players he's been playing with his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on these foreign teams are played together for their entire life. The Spanish national team for the last 15 years was Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, Rudy Fernandez, Luis Scola, Sergio Rodriguez, Ricky Rubio, insert all these guys. They've been playing together since they were 16 years old, 14 years old in the U18 teams.
And they know how to get each other open. They know the spots.
Whereas Team USA, when they go, very rarely, like how it was you do the Team USA selects, you go to the FIBA, and then you still practice during the summer. And now it's not really like that. You kind of finish the season, then you go and work out and stuff. For Roz to use the 04 team as his example was a terrible example because there's so much more talent on that team than this team. Like, not really. All of that talent was super young besides Tim Duncan and Iverson, and that was the year before Iverson kind of like sucked, and Tim Duncan was still like peak. Outside of that, LeBron's a year in, Melo's a year in, Wade's a year in, Boozer's 2 years in, Amari's 2 years in, like Lamar Odom. Fucking Emeka Okafor was in college. He didn't even get drafted yet. Like, these are the players. So he's like, oh, who on that team was better than 03 LeBron? I don't know. The majority of this roster was better than 03 LeBron because we have guys who are in their 4th, 5th, 6th year on this team who cut their teeth in the NBA, who are like world-class talents. And the argument was, oh, LeBron put up one of the more historically season as a rookie. Cool. Mikal Bridges averaged more points, assists, field goal percentage, all that stuff better than him. So, like, what are we doing?
I get Roz's point, though, because one of the reasons that team lost is because Larry Brown, for whatever reason, just did not want to play all the young guys.
Because they weren't supposed to. But they weren't supposed to play.
You got to realize when you in a fight, like, hey, maybe.
But also remember, at that time, LeBron's offensive game wasn't much more than I gotta drive.
But But what I'm saying is, to his point, I understand. Bron, Melo, they could have out athletic their way to a goal. They could have just out because at the end of the day, that's not how that
works in FIBA though.
They tried it and it didn't work.
But at the end of the day, they still could have just given the ball to Tim when they needed a basket. Like
they tried it and it didn't work.
The rules are different. You can't out athlete
you can't tell me they tried it when LeBron averaged 10 minutes a game.
Yeah, no, that's the problem here. But like you can't say they were all better athletes because on par they were all Sean Marion, Richard Jefferson.
They could have out athlete those guys back in 04. I'm not saying that would have happened. I'm just saying we don't know. Like
we don't know, the problem here is if in 04, if they didn't have the war going on at that time and all of your A-tier guys didn't drop out, LeBron and them weren't playing anyway.
LeBron, they probably would have because LeBron.
They said if you the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix, they all said we had no expectation to play. We weren't supposed to play. We were supposed to be the last guys on the bench and go in if something happened. They weren't supposed to see the court. Because Vince was supposed to be there, Kidd is supposed to be there, McGrady's supposed to be there. All these guys are supposed to be there, and they weren't because they're like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're cutting that shit out. So you force your hand because in practices we're with the select team. We've been practicing with the select team the whole time. We're the scout team. We weren't really there, and then they said, hey, everybody's dropping out. You guys need to come.
Yeah, it was arrogance. But to my point. They still only played 10 minutes a game. Like, I don't know what would have happened because they didn't get to play for whatever reason.
No, but again, they were young.
You're right. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there is validity to what Roz was saying.
There's validity to what he was saying, but to say that there was more talent on that team when you look at that roster compared to this team,
Roz is king.
He's also using hindsight because LeBron, Wade, and Melo are 3 of the 75 greatest, 50 greatest players of all time. So, like, yeah, we know that with hindsight, but at the time in 03, 04, they were not that. Like, that team was so young because it had to be.
Poorly constructed. It's very poorly constructed.
Richard Jefferson's 3 years in the league. LeBron's rookie year, Melo's rookie year, Wade's rookie year, Mari's second year, Boozer's second year, Sean Marion's second year. Lamar Odom was in the NBA for I think 4 years, maybe if that 3 years, 4 years, 2000, I think. Like,
and then Iverson,
Iverson and Tim,
and Marbury.
Yeah, they weren't doing nothing.
And Marbury and Iverson are the same person. So, like, it was a poorly constructed team. Like it was just bad.
Whereas the Team USA team that we had could have absolutely won. If there's different moves I would have made, I would have played Walker Kessler more.
I would have played Austin
than Bobby Portis. Absolutely would have played Walker Kessler more because you could literally knock the ball off the hoop and just stay in the paint. I would rather have the guy who's known for shot blocking play a little bit more. Once Brandon Ingram started to kind of like fuck off, I would have definitely played Paolo more than what he did. The one guy on the team who shouldn't have played much, who didn't play much, and I'm good, is Cam Johnson. He's the one I think could use the practice with Team USA because he's still very raw, even though he's a little bit older.
It's above his pay grade. Them guys are above. Not to disrespect, but them guys.
No, they're above him right now.
They're above his pay grade.
But like once Ingram goes off on his thing, you could have split time between Paolo and him. And Paolo was your small ball 5.
And that's the other thing with that team. If Brandon Ingram plays, that team wins comfortably.
If he accepts his role.
Yeah. But he absolutely hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely
He's one of the best scorers in the world.
And he absolutely hurt them. So it's shock is it's still surprising.
It's upsetting to see him do that.
No, I'm saying seeing Team USA lose. It's surprising to see them lose. It's very upsetting to see Brandon Ingram be that selfish. It's
disappointing to see Brandon Ingram like that because now the report just came out that he's not trying to work on an extension with the Pelicans either. So it's like, all right, well, what's going to happen? Because if I'm an organization, I'm looking at him. I'm like,
if you're
I'll still pay you.
If you're a winning organization, you're looking at him like that.
Yeah.
If you're an organization that like Detroit, I hate using Detroit this all the time, but like Detroit, you're looking like, yeah, we could use them though.
We could use a guy that's going to give up during adversity.
he'll put butts in the seat. He'll score 40. He'll put butts in the seat.
Him and Cade would be awesome, though.
They would be.
Cade, and Ivy would be awesome.
It would be. But yeah, what say you, the Prophet? What say you?
I think that the media did a great job of knocking on the door and saying and calling the boogeyman or saying Candyman a bunch of times in the mirror to make the legends come out of the darkness.
They woke LeBron up.
Yeah, it's little brother got beat up and he went to go get big brother.
Yeah. So I think the media did a great job with doing that. As far as like the team constructed that lost, I couldn't tell you because I didn't catch many of the games because they were normally playing during the time that I was working.
8:00 in the morning.
So I didn't catch them live to see how they actually played against these teams. But sounds like it just, when I did see the highlights and saw the stat lines and stuff like that, it just looked like an experience.
I wouldn't have put Austin Reeves on this team. I don't know why he was on this team.
He played well.
He played well, but I wouldn't have put him on this team.
Don't do my man AR-15 like that.
Listen, Austin Reeves better than Michael Jordan. But, I'm that guy. But, I don't understand why he was on this team. Or Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is really the guy I wouldn't have put on this team.
I also would not have put Bobby Portis on this team.
How has Jared Allen not been asked to play here yet?
I don't know. I don't know if he's saying no.
I said the same thing for the Olympic team. I was like, why is Keldon Johnson on this team and Jared Allen isn't?
I will 100% agree with you there, Dylan. I don't know why Jared Allen, is he not liked in the league and dudes don't want to play with him?
He sticks to himself.
Where
was Evan Mobley?
I don't know where Evan Mobley is either. I don't know where he is either.
My question is, what other Laker would you put on this team besides the
I wouldn't have put a Laker.
Besides who?
Besides the LeBron. Obvious picks. Yeah.
LeBron and AD.
That's the only two Lakers I'd put on the team.
That's the only Laker I'd put on the team, but you don't have to pick a Laker to be on the team. It's not like, oh man, you got to pick a player from each team or pick a player from certain representatives of the team. I would just go with the best fit for your team.
Who do you put in place of AR?
That's gonna play, that's gonna go. You telling me a player that would go? Because I don't know who said no and who.
Well, Trae Young is mad that he didn't even get a call.
I don't want his selfish ass on the team either.
But I don't even know who our backup point guard was, so I'd probably replace Austin Reeves with Trae Young.
I guess Trey. Maxey. I wouldn't have had a problem with Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey.
I wouldn't have had a problem with Maxey being there. I don't know, James. That's a good question. Outside of Maxey and Trey, maybe what's the point guard's name from the Spurs?
Trey Jones?
No. I can't think of his name.
I don't know.
But I really don't know. I don't know who else you put there. I don't know.
It's Trey Jones.
It is Trey Jones. Who?
He's not better than Austin Reeves.
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe he's more athletic, but I don't think he shoots better. So
yeah,
that's what I mean. I had no problem with Austin Reeves being on the team.
I don't have a problem with him being on the team. I just don't understand why he was chosen. I don't know. If that sounds like I'm hating, I'm not. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. Because, like, Jaden Ivey. If you're picking young guys anyway, might as well.
I would take Austin Reeves. If I had a choice between the two, I'd take Reeves.
Halliburton was the other point guard. Never mind. Keep Trae Young away from me. I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
And he played well.
He played really well.
And he played well. He also could be on the team.
He could be, but he won't.
He won't because Steph's gonna go.
Kyrie saying he's gonna go, but I think they're gonna tell Kyrie to go fuck off somewhere.
I don't think they're gonna let Kyrie play. And that's not shit. I don't think they're.
I just don't think they're gonna let him play.
I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna say no to Kyrie.
Tyler Hero.
I wouldn't have been against it.
Tyler Hero, I think, would have been good on this team.
I wouldn't have been against it.
I'm over here have the NBA teams listed up on here. I'm like, oh, okay.
So Steph, I would say. So the point guards, I would say Steph, Brunson, and Halliburton. Those are your 3, and then you're gonna go Booker. I don't know if they're gonna bring Harden. To be honest with you.
At least you have to assume it's gonna be Booker, Bridges, and then Harden. Or if Harden,
Bridges,
Harden maybe.
Bridges, Durant maybe.
Durant, Tatum, Brown.
Or Jaylen Brown is your 2 guard.
Well, he's also a 3, so they probably would play him in the wings.
At 6, Braun is 7, 80 is 8. We're gonna do Evan Mobley 9.
I don't know if they're gonna bring him. I'd assume it's gonna be
Draymond
at center. Bam
9.
And then this is where I'd be like, oh, go insert your Jared Allen. But I
would take Mobley before
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh yeah, he'll make
because he played well.
10.
He played well on this, and it gives him another set 10. Of time to learn.
It's 10 players. Entered college player, or what are we doing after that?
I don't think they do that anymore. They didn't do that last time.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see the Avengers that LeBron puts together,
and if they actually all play,
because it's easy to say that.
Yeah, it's so far away that it could be.
I would also not anticipate LeBron playing.
It could be LeBron saying, I'm inserting myself in the dunk contest all over again.
Exactly. James. That's exactly how
I see Durant doing it again before I see LeBron do it, because Durant got to be Captain America for once after being like second fiddle on these USA teams for a while.
Yeah.
Build his lead for Team USA's most all-time leading scorer.
Or Jason Tatum. I mean, it could be Jason Tatum's turn. It should be Steph and Booker. It should be Devin Booker's turn.
It should be Devin Booker's turn.
But
because Steph already got himself some gold medals.
He has a gold medal, I believe. I think he has
that and a FIBA. And he's got a FIBA.
He's got FIBA ones, but
he has I think he has a Team USA one.
I think he has one Olympic gold, which is crazy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Steph went though. I wouldn't be surprised if
I
Steph.
wouldn't be surprised.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, he has. Oh no, he only has FIBA medals.
Steph's going. Steph's gonna go.
Yep.
And Steve Kerr's the coach. That's gonna go.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and Skip Bayless is gonna have a heart attack if Steph shoots.
And then
us.
Draymond will also be there.
If
Draymond
Steph
will be
shoots
that
us
third
out of the gold. Oh my god. Oh
Yeah, Draymond will be here too.
yeah. So there you go.
Because it was KD, Draymond, and Bam that were holding down the backcourt.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about Izzy? You want to wrap it up?
Izzy sucks.
Does Izzy suck or is Izzy washed?
He's washed.
I
I don't think Izzy knows how to fight pressure fighters anymore.
Yeah, because that's what happened. It was a pressure.
He got walked along the cage the whole fight, ate shit round one, and then just didn't know how to apply pressure himself.
Like I said, I think once he got hit, he didn't want to fight no more. He tried the point fight, but he was afraid. He felt the power. It was like, I'm not getting knocked out. I'm not gonna let this dude knock me out.
Which sucks because Strickland's really like not great, right? There's nothing phenomenal about him. He's a really good striker and he's good on the ground. He's a good counter striker. Izzy doesn't know how to fight counter strikers. He doesn't know how to apply the pressure. He sits there, gets pressured, and then tries to throw the hook. And as we saw him try to throw that hook, he ate a shot because he doesn't protect himself when he throws the hook.
And he only throws his little kicks because if you remember when he fought Yoel, it honestly was the same fight, except Strickland was fighting back. But
Yoel wasn't doing anything.
That was the exact same fight as the Yoel fight. That's what would have happened if Yoel decided to fight back.
Yoel just decided he didn't want to throw any punches.
So, yeah, Izzy has a problem with counter punchers. He loves when people chase him. He loves being to walk you into a trap.
He wants to be the sniper.
But he cannot fight when you put constant pressure on him. That's why Gastelum gave him problems because it was just constant pressure.
And Izzy doesn't have power like that. He put away Pereira, but like Izzy's he's a piece. Like he's not gonna just sit there and one punch knockout.
So we'll see. Yeah. Quick side note: do you think Alexa gets the win? She does it again, or do you think we're looking at a trilogy? Because they fight on Saturday.
Who?
Grasso and
Shevchenko?
Yes. They fight Saturday.
Shevchenko beating that ass.
I don't know, Dylan. That girl gave him
all death,
choked her
taxes. I'm taking the Russian spy.
She got choked out last time, though.
Not happening again. Not happening again.
You owe me Gatorade right now.
Let's double or nothing.
Nah, I don't trust that.
Yeah. What are you, yellow belly?
I don't trust that girl. I don't trust that.
Don't trust it because there's somebody you trust much more, and it's Valentina Shevchenko.
Valentina's
because she's fucking Black Widow in real life. Russian spy.
Well, Anthony never showed up.
Of course not.
I thought he was going to come take his victory lap. I find it funny because this was the 1 week he honestly could have taken a victory lap. He could have teased you about the Raiders. He could have teased you about Aaron Rodgers, which he has done since Sunday in the chat. This has been probably the best week he's ever had in the chat.
Jets still won, so that's the thing.
Yeah, that hurt. But he was still trolling bad.
And he would have been awful if
the Jets had lost.
If the Jets had lost, but luckily for me, the Jets defense awesome.
He won in fantasy. It was a good week for Anthony. It was a good week.
Fuck him.
But like Stephen A. says, it's an accident waiting to happen. Just give it time. Just give it.
He's setting himself up for a massive collapse.
But he's not here, so I will say the obvious for him. I don't. Unlike him, I don't wish injury, but I find it hilarious that you was talking all that Jimmy G was going to get hurt, and Aaron Rodgers got hurt before Jimmy G. That to me is hilarious.
I never said Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to get hurt.
But that not the way you was. Not the
no,
way
Jimmy.
You
I
was
still have 4 or 5 weeks until Jimmy's hurt.
Exactly. You get.
And we thought Jimmy got hurt.
We did think he got hurt.
Jimmy ate that shot and was real slow to get up.
He didn't know what state he was in. He was like, "Whoa!"
Luckily for me, Jimmy G and the Raiders have to go to an angry Buffalo.
Yes,
a very upset Buffalo. So we may have to put out an APB for Anthony on Sunday.
We may have to get an Anthony counter. Well, did he show up Sunday night?
And no, it was just me and Steven.
Of course he did.
It was just me and Steven.
Of course not.
Recap the game. It was a quick hour. It was a good time. But Anthony might duck away for a bit because his defense isn't good enough to cause 4 turnovers.
And like you said, they're mad.
Angry. Josh Allen's real mad. Josh Allen also misses Brian Daboll a lot.
He does.
Because you could see he's making these decisions and stupid things that he hasn't made since his rookie year.
He does. So. He definitely misses him, but he's still a phenomenal talent.
He's a fantastic talent. He's just my problem with Josh Allen is he's fucking stupid. He makes stupid decisions sometimes.
He's a gunslinger.
It's not even gunslinger. It's how he runs the ball, man. How he runs the ball has always been a problem for me.
That's a problem.
Because it's not like he's Lamar, where it's like, Lamar, you want to run the ball? Go fucking run the ball.
You know what Josh Allen is? He's
Forrest Gump.
No, he's reckless. That's what the problem is. Because when he runs, it's not like it's bad decisions. He's getting yards. He's doing everything.
He's just running with his arms flailing and holding the ball like it's a loaf of bread.
Slide. He's trying to hop over people. Like, he's reckless. He's like I said,
insanely reckless.
To me, those interceptions, the 2 of them, it was reckless because he just overthrew it. Like he's just doing
the one on the corner route that Whitehead's 3rd interception. That's just a tough pass.
That's a bad, like
that was a bad pass. It's just Jordan Whitehead made a play.
Yeah,
he made a great play on that one. The first Jordan Whitehead pick, I was mad he intercepted. I was mad he intercepted. I'm like, he's giving us the ball on the fucking 5. Knowing we have Zach Wilson.
It was a punt. Like I the first one I don't really care about. The second one was bad, and like I said, the third one was a hell of a play. But he overthrew it. He just overthrew.
I think all of them were bad. I think the first 2 were exceptionally bad because it's what I've been saying about Anthony Richardson. You can't throw fastballs deep. If you throw fastballs deep, you're asking for them to get intercepted.
They sail.
You're asking for them to get intercepted. And that's exactly what that first one was. Nobody's there. Like Whitehead was 4 feet in front of him and got the pick. Like that's a bad throw. The second one was, I think, a much better throw, but he still threw in double coverage.
Diggs was open. If that ball doesn't sail.
He was open until like Whitehead closed out.
But he was like, it wasn't a bad decision. Like I don't think he's.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was a good throw.
I don't think he's making bad decisions. He's making bad throws because he's doing too much. He's doing too much.
Yeah, and then the third one was obviously the Whitehead.
That
was great play.
That was a great play.
Great play. The fumble.
And out of everything, the fumble as a Bills fan, that pissed me off more than anything. Because, like, what are you doing?
I can tell you exactly. You're not going to like what I'm going to say about this. I can tell you exactly what that was.
What, you going to say he was scared?
That's the yips. Because that defense was coming.
All the momentum. Garrett Wilson just made that amazing catch. The stadium has woken up. It was loud. It was the first, but like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why are you rushing?
We need to watch that catch as a family.
What is happening? Like that, the fumble bothered me more than the 3 picks.
Need to watch that catch as a family. What a fucking play.
I mean, it was a phenomenal. We all in the chat went crazy when he caught it.
Anthony didn't. Anthony said that wasn't a good catch.
Anthony was like, "Oh, that was okay." Great catch. Great catch.
That's an unbelievable play.
And let's give Zach credit because Zach did not throw a fastball in there. That ball was thrown soft enough.
I give Zach a ton of credit for that possession because Zach, they called a run play.
Yeah, he checked out.
He audibled it. He was like, "Nope, I see Garrett one-on-one. We're going." And it wasn't a great throw by Zach, but
it wasn't a bad throw.
But man, Garrett made one of those "I'm him" plays. Right?
And did you hear Buck call him that? I almost threw my remote through the TV when he called him that.
You hated so much that he made that play.
No, because he's on one of my fantasy teams. So I needed
outside of fantasy.
Outside of fantasy, it annoyed the hell out of me. It annoyed the hell out of me.
But you can't deny it.
I never said he wasn't good.
He's him. He's
not him though.
That's a him play. Is that not a him play?
It's a clutch play.
Are clutch plays not him plays?
Clutch play. Doesn't make you him. You got to do a little bit more to become him.
What more does this kid have to do to be him?
Do that a couple more times.
But like, what are you asking for? That he already hasn't done.
A body of work.
Rookies can be him.
He doesn't have a body. He didn't put up enough body.
Rookie of the year, him.
Not enough for me. Not him.
Him, man. What about Breece Hall?
Breece. Boy, oh boy.
Because you know who was supposed to be the offensive rookie of the year last year?
I said that.
It was Breece. No, I agree with you. It would have been Breece. Breece would have won. Breece would have ran away with it too. Because Breece was balling.
And last night, man.
That man tore his ACL.
Had me sitting here, because you remember what I said. I was like, oh, I know how this is going to go. Dalvin Cook will play good early, and then Breece will, warm up the truck, and then by about week 6 or 7, it'll be the Breece show. Nope, week 1, it's the Breece show. But
Breece only had like 10 carries.
I also didn't like that Hackett went away from the run. But
yes, but you have to try to incorporate because they were stacking the box.
Yeah, but because they was like, well, they're not going to beat us. I thought Dalvin Cook looked good too.
Dalvin Cook was awesome.
He didn't look as good as his brother, but he looked good. I thought his brother played better than him, but
I think his brother got different opportunities than him,
and he made the most of them.
I think Dalvin still played very well. I'm not mad at Dalvin.
Well. If I'm a Jet
fan,
the
problem is Dalvin's game gets overshadowed by how awesome Breece was.
Because Breece had flashy plays.
Breece was averaging 44.5 yards a carry going into halftime.
That's what happens when you have an 80-yard run.
Well, you start off with a 20-yard run.
That should have been a touchdown if him isn't out here throwing pom-poms.
I agree, but I also think Breece gassed out.
He did gas out, but if the block is there, he can gas out and still jog into the end zone.
It's equally both to me. It's equally both. I think Garrett made a bad play trying to celebrate instead of if he was able to get in front of that guy who's going to make the play, but then Breece gassing out.
Garrett would have got in front of him.
I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm like, if he could have, perfect. If he couldn't, then I understand. But Breece still gassed. So like, I think he would have gotten caught or slowed down regardless because you can't asking a wide receiver to do anything in that situation besides like just get in front of him to slow down is asking for a penalty.
All he has to do is run in front of him and put his hand. All he has to do is make him change his direction a couple steps.
I agree, but I'd rather Garrett do that than do something and accidentally fuck up and trip or block in the back, and then we get nothing and it comes back.
No, you would have just lost. It would have been a spot foul.
Depending on what it was.
It would have been a spot foul.
But even still, I'd rather get that and get the ball in field goal range than have the spot foul be on the 50. I'll take what I can get. I'm not going to play. And still awesome run.
Mm-hmm.
Breece Hall's also him.
Phenomenal. Yeah. All right. That's it. I don't want to talk about the Jets no more. I'm done.
You love it.
I've talked about the Jets ad nauseum. It feels like for the last 2 weeks.
For good reason, though. 1-0, top of the division. Actually, top of the division because we beat a division opponent.
Whoop-de-doo.
So enjoy second place, Miami. Fuck you.
All right, well, it's just the two of us, and I mean, this is a waste of time because you've already let the cat out of the bag. But I'm him with Dylan, who is him.
Who is him, you may ask? Huh. Funny. Let's roll the tape.
Oh God, we have video footage. Oh gosh.
Him.
Shout
Look at him.
out to Lazar for hopping him.
The leapfrog. Look at him go. That place erupted. Eat a
It
dick,
did.
Tre'Davious.
It did.
That's one of the 10 best corners in football right there.
It is.
Oh, look at him. Sad. Fuck
He
you.
got beat. He got
He's
got
like,
beat.
man,
But
I'm sad.
let's not act like Sauce didn't get beat in that game. So it happens.
He didn't get beat for a touchdown.
It happens.
Not the Sauce. Or it hasn't happened yet. Which is a fact. I'm sure it will happen.
It's gonna.
And I know I'll have to eat my words on it. But the best get beat. No lockdown corner has never not given up a
Has to
touchdown.
be exactly. It's gonna.
You
happen.
can't be perfect all the time. And a lot of the plays he got beat on were broken plays that Josh Allen just like, oh, you can't cover somebody forever. And Josh Allen roll.
I would disagree.
Those plays where he's rolling out,
There's a couple that's designed for that.
not always. Not
There's
always.
a
Usually
couple.
when you break the pocket,
I saw a couple.
there's a
plays
couple.
where Diggs shook him. Like,
Mhm.
come on,
And also pushed off. And promptly got the foul.
one play, not plays, not a couple. One.
Now most of Diggs' yards were on DJ Reed because Diggs had like 110 yards. And DJ Reed was getting cooked for a little bit. Oh, James is back.
James, who's you got time for I'm him? You got time for I'm him?
Show.
Hmm?
I thought you guys didn't have a show.
They want me to hop on last minute.
I'm him. I guess not. I'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah. Okay. I'm him for this week. For me is Tyreek Hill because you talk about someone that talk the talk. I mean, we all sports fans. I'm sure everyone heard him saying he was going to get 2,000 yards this year, receiving, not even accumulation of his yards, just 2,000 yards. And I don't know about everybody else, but I was like, yeah, that's poppycock. Like, you're not getting 2,000 yards. Like,
Poppycock.
it's ridiculous. And then he promptly went out and had 200 and some change, dropped 2 and some change on the Chargers, and is on pace right now for 3,000 yards. So, and because it was the last game, we side note, we were at Dylan's house for opening Sunday. We got to see a lot of that game, and boy, was he cooking the Chargers. He was tearing them up. So, because I saw it live, I'm him. It's Tyreek, the cheetah. Oh, James is back. Is he back? I don't know. I hear it. Oh, I'll bring
Without
it
knowing, I guess I can just say that I'm him will have to go to the kid that ran the ball back on the Jets.
Xavier Gibson,
Yeah,
undrafted free agent, won himself a job, and immediately gets to reap the reward. He was awesome. He had a nice training camp, and he was cool on Hard Knocks. It was fun to see him. So I'm glad he got his moment.
And boy, did he juked the hell out of that kicker.
He just ran away. The kicker just tried to just put hands on him, and it was like, nope. Also, fuck that announcer that was like, "Oh, the Jets got away from a tripping call." No, what? Shut up. Shut up. The guy got blocked and he fell. He's like, "Yeah, but they whipped the leg." Fuck you, guy. No, he didn't. He fell. Don't worry. They missed a tripping call on the Patriots last year during the same fucking play. Eat a dick.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button. Follow us on anywhere you get your podcast, both audio and visual, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Twitch, Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Yeah, it's been a great show, guys. We got 2 wheel spins. It's been a fun evening. James, you want to take us home?
Guess I'll put on these the green and white again. Shout out to the Jets for winning that game the other night. But yeah, man. I hate being the guy that's right in this moment, but hey, it happens, you know. Dylan won't let me get out in what world type of thing to go down, but it's cool. It's all good. But shout out to all the viewers and all the listeners. We're back, season 3, and we got a lot in store, man. Keep listening, keep watching, and yeah, thank you.
Despite what James thinks, we aren't friends right now because he personally injured Aaron Rodgers because he put this into existence. But it's all right. Jets will be okay. We're not going to have the season we thought we were going to have, but that's what happens when you lose your starting quarterback. But we're still going to have a fun season because we have shit like this. Him.
Oh,
What a catch. Jets, Jets. Hell yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Delusion at its finest.
Why? That'll be fine.
Thank you, everyone, for watching us tonight. Follow me on all the socials. I am _MBJ on all the socials. A shout out to everyone tuning in tonight, everyone that follows us, helping us out. We are back for season 3. More of the same. We're going to bring you sports, culture. We were gonna do a segment on the MTV VMAs, but no, nothing happened.
Don't want to see Taylor Swift dancing to a Millie, not knowing any other word but a Millie.
Yeah, or winning 8,000 awards. So
fuck
yeah,
Taylor Swift.
I'm all set. Make sure you watch it, subscribe, listen, do all of it. We appreciate everyone for watching. We will be here throughout the season. We will have these challenges for you. Punishments are coming. And yeah, from us to you, we say adieu. Good night, everybody.
Go Jets.